Good evening and welcome to everybody who's watching. This is going to be the shortest live I've ever done because it's time to end it. I'm only joking. But it just started. And I just had a notification to tell me that I'm live. Isn't that good? I know I'm live. I'm here. Hello, James, if you're still around. I see you were the first to make a comment. Granted, it was a little bit earlier, but still, such is life. Bryce, good to see you. How you doing? Nice to see some friends from other channels dropping by. You know. Anyway, should have a few people dropping in with a bit of luck from different areas, such as John. Hiya, John. How you doing? We are expecting BBA along shortly, as far as I'm aware. Well, I say we, I am. Maybe a few other people. Don't know yet. See how it goes. I said that on yesterday's little promo and rant that I would be here tonight, all things being equal, so to speak, and that's where I am. I'm here. Oh, good. It's UK Transparency. We've got Flutoy here. Hello, Flutoy. Hello, UK Transparency. Thanks for dropping in. You know the score. If you like it, hit the like button. If you don't like it, well, you can always hit the down button. I don't mind. I'm not here for likes and or subscribers. I'm here just to entertain, theoretically. Because we're not allowed to say allegedly. Apparently, it's a banned word. Well, it is in some areas anyway. 100% tour celebration. Okay. Thank you for the cornetos. You know what? I don't even know why they put that there, to be honest. You know, because you can't see it on StreamYard. You can only see it if you got the channel open. Doesn't make sense that to me, but hey ho. Supposedly banned. Well, it's only allegedly. Brilliant. Right. I haven't actually got anything planned as such. I'm trying to sort out a few issues. When I say issues, a few ideas. One of them is to do a couple of interviews with people. And I think it's absolutely fantastic that my American friends send me their phone number, which I have no problem with, except that I don't make international calls because it costs so much, especially when you don't know whether you're ringing a landline, whether you're ringing a mobile, because they just don't look, especially when you start with 555. You know. Anyway, moving forward slightly, I had an idea yesterday, and it's taken me a while to get over it. But we're going to branch out, hopefully, into a different community, away from the A1, the auditing community in general, First Amendment, and also Second Amendment. The reason for that is that what's this? Rates are terrible from Uganda. Yeah, that's where I'm sort of based. Hello, Blackwatch. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm going to link in hopefully with the 420 community and be able to offer them the same sort of service that I offer everybody, a safe place where they can discuss things and not have to worry about terms of service, and also not have to worry about code words, etc. So, well, Grim asked the Yankees to send a phone on which you can call said numbers. Actually, no, all you need to do is to send me a SIM card that works. Loaded, of course, with credit. No, seriously, I very, very rarely use the phone these days. I mean, I've got one like everybody else has, and it took me about 18 months to remember the number because I never phone myself. And when I ring somebody else, it's already in the phone. So there's no point in people asking me, have you got such and such a person's number? Because I wouldn't have a clue. You know, I ring the wife occasionally, or I'll send her a message occasionally. I just go to contacts, it's there. Yeah, that line. I know it is. So, what's everyone been up to? You've been doing anything interesting in the last day or so? Or you just be doing the usual stuff? Whatever the usual stuff is. I don't know. I mean, I'm from Uganda, as I say, and the rates are bad. Oh, Mr. Meatball. This is where I can find copies of the terms of service. Well, depends on what service you want, sir. You know, to be honest. Let me know and I'll see what I can sort out for you. Okay, so Blackwatch, he's been running a fundraiser. I need 10 subs. Care for a link. I don't have a problem. You want to put a link out, mate, for your GoFundMe to get you 10 sandwiches. Not a problem at all. Okay. Allegedly. So, Mr. Meatball. Hello, Mr. TVP. Popping in to see what's up. Sky. Apparently. And in some areas, it's nice and blue and the sun's out. But thanks for dropping in. First time. We've got, let me introduce you to a small fan, Susan of Lost Souls. She's always popping in. And it's nice to actually be able to read out a little message to Mr. Meatball. But enough of the small jokes. I might get accused of being discriminative towards dwarfs, but I can assure you I'm not. Some people are actually shorter than dwarfs. You know, or am I just being politically incorrect again? Or that should be incorrect? Is somebody shorter than Susan in the chat? Really? Mr. Meatball? Ah, okay. UKT. I doubt it. Pluto is not that small. You can ignore them, keep bullying you, Susan. I've never bullied little people in my life. Yeah. Just ask Ken Dudley's Digiman. Okay, so Blackwatch. seriously though, food prices here are absolutely nuts. No relief in sight. So many pay rent in lieu of eating. Ah, yeah, no, you're over the other side of the water, on next to that big place they call America. You know, people shorter than dwarfs. They're called children. Really? I thought they were babies. Close. Hello, Outlaw. Thank you for dropping in. Flutoy, I said hello. Do you know, it's such an honor and a privilege. Really, Meatball Flutoy is my new bestest friend. Is that a word, bestest? Or is that just somebody who doesn't make any jokes about short people? But yeah, okay, seriously. I don't need to know how many people or which people smoke and during 420. Short people are called fun size. Now that's funny. John, that is really funny. Well, I think it is anyway. Um, yeah, I had a chat with, as I say, a couple of people, and they suggested that, or I should say, they agreed with a basic idea of creating links so that growers from where it's legal can discuss things, trade secrets, and basically help people out. Now, obviously, there's certain laws which are in place in the UK and Great Britain, which mean that it's illegal. So please never admit to something anywhere that could land you into any trouble. Ask questions once it's up and running. However, never, ever admit to anything that could lead you down the wrong path. Vanish, good to see you. How you doing? Long time no see. About a week, I think, maybe more. I hope that everybody's doing really good and having a good time somewhere, wherever you are in the world. Oh, that's all your. That's all your. What? That's it. You're all for it, really? Don't you think it's great when the little people threaten you? Big up, Susan Lossells. Anyway, I want to say that I want to give all my support to Baby Bio. Apparently, if you feed youngsters, small plants, that it helps them grow. Or you can always stick children in grow bags and see whether that works. Didn't in some people's cases. Did ran out of a DIY store. The meatballs at it again. Oh shit. Nan's warming that finger up UKT. Where's Big G when we need him? Well, I don't know where Big G is these days. Jokes about short people, really, I don't think they would stoop to that level. I don't. Blackwatch. Nice sense of humour as well, John. Blackwatch says short people are rather adept at changing the toilet roll. Yeah, they've got to put it at a certain average height. So they'll have to stand on something to do it. But I understand that radar keys, which is access to gives you access to accessibility toilets, They've made arrangements to allow shorter people to be able to reach the keyhole so that they can get in with their key. The reason for this is so that more people can have accessibility, because they're fed up with them trying to crawl underneath. Susan, what are you saying? What are you saying? I mean, you come in here and you start all this garbage. Let's have a look. You see that you lot started. People, I don't know, cracking the short jokes. Good grief. Oh, at least you've got a sense of humour. Well, short sense of humour anyway. Or was it a short fuse? I'm not sure which. Dog, you've had all evening. I offered to take you out earlier, honestly. And now you wait until I go live, you hear me talking, and you come and sit at me with those longing, dopey eyes. Well, you have to wait until BBA comes up. Because I can't leave you lot for a short period of time, can I? While I take the dog out. You'll all disappear on me. But seriously, anyone got any suggestions about where we can go with regards to 420 situation and helping out the 420 community? Evening, rainy brow, I should say. First time here. Hope you enjoyed. I don't recognise your name. That's the reason why I said. Oh my God, Susan, get off your high carumba. I mean horse. Pluto Blackwatch. I'm trying to figure out if your name is racist or not. Well, no, it isn't. Well, I don't think it is. He's from, if I remember right, and correct me if I'm wrong, please. I was under the impression that Blackwatch was from Canada, so he can't be racist. We are prone to needing audit supervision to be fair. Is he referring to short people? Ghost of Taps. Free bongs for everyone. I will help stop bong theft. It'll help stop bong theft. True. It's very true. Muska, or Musta, I should say. Thank you for dropping in. How are you doing? Broken fishing. Good to see you. Or I should say broke fishing. You know, I know it's broke fishing and I still get it wrong. Oh, sorry. Yeah, thanks for the clarification. No, Grim, just the chat in general. Yeah, I think we all need to have a little bit of adult supervision. Might stop the jokes on short people. I think it's wrong. I just think we should give them stilts. That might help. What do you think, people? Okay, so Mr. TVP, Blackwatch was the name of a British military unit. It has a very long history spanning multiple conflicts on several continents. Oh, right. Well, I didn't know that. See, we learn something new every day. Mockster, but Randy Newman's song is so good. Oh, right. Okay. I don't know which song you're referring to, but still. Oh, this should be funny. Well, maybe. I think one more short joke and I'll unsub from you all. Okay. Okay, we won't do any more short jokes, not for a little while anyway. May come back to them later. There's some controversy going on here. He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother. I think that song is about me. Oh, right, okay. Well, I'm So Vain was sung by a short person, allegedly. We've definitely got an ongoing conversation in relation to Black Watch. What British might ask Scottish? Well, I'm sorry, but the Scottish are part of Britain. What's this you're saying now? I'm watching you, Reaper, and bothered. Not really. If they take the step away from the step button, you'll not be able to reach it. Nice comments, Mr. Meatball. You're getting very, very brave. Oh, God, I'm being attacked by a cat. I've got a dog on one side of me that wants to go out, and I've got the cat come up to me and tell me she wants to go out. Well, not the cat, because the cat's a house cat. But yeah, it's nice to have a pussy on my leg. Oh, God, you're tall. I'm talking to the cat, by the way, just in case you're wondering. I think what I'll do is I'll risk putting the link out. But obviously, I'm going to have to put some security measures into effect. Certainly for the time being. Be nice to see if anybody wants to come on up and have a chat. Because otherwise, it'll be a very, very short live. There you go. There's a link. If there's anything which you want to talk about, anything you disagree with, basically the longer and the shorter things, that would be fine. That's not a major issue. Susan has threatened to unsub from people who make any more short jokes. So please, let's put a lid on it for the time being. Put them inside a barrel and then stick them under the kitchen sink. That'll do. But if you're into a bit of torture, then you'll be able to do that. Muxter, that is you. I recognize you. How are you doing, sir?
Okay, I got a few minutes. I thought I'd come up. Don't really have anything to say, but I came up anyway.
So you're only up for a short period of time?
Well, somebody will be coming here sometime, so I'll leave then. But until then.
That's not a problem. Thank you for coming up. It's your first time up here, I think.
Yeah. I put link over there, by the way. You can bookmark it or something. There's a song called Short People by Randy Newman.
Ah, that's what you were going on about.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. I know exactly where I'll play that. Let's have a quick listen. Oh, I like it. It's also is that the one called Little Printables? I just saw it underneath Randy Newman under the name. That must be the album it's on. Must be a very short album. Who else have we got in here? Oh, hey, the bass man. How are you doing?
Hey, bass.
Thanks for dropping in. For those people who don't know Muxter and I have been communicating and having a laugh at other people's expenses because he's got a very, very sarcastic sense of humour and he's very quick-witted as well. And I first came across this guy on Eli's panel, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. Go on, put your face on for a second. You're in the back.
Actually, could I tell you something serious while you're waiting for other people to come?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Because I just came home from my doctor's appointment,
Yeah.
and now, first of all, let me tell you, I love my doctor because she's not all business. She'll sit and talk. She'll do what she has to do, and then I'll ask about her kids and stuff, and she'll ask about my life. And so she asked what I've been doing since my last visit. And I said, oh, I've kind of dived into this YouTube thing. I said, ever since I wanted to tell a story about, oddly enough, a weird medical visit I had. Now I've been doing like daily videos and spending time here. And she said, oh, that's nice. And she said, yeah, up to anything else? And I said, well, I'm thinking of starting to collect comic books. And she said, don't you think you have enough issues?
Works well also with the psychiatrist. Do you know what? There are times when I actually enjoy coming onto YouTube, because I do get to hear more corny jokes and dad jokes than I deliver. Is that you, Mr. Flutoid?
How's it going? Yeah, it's me, mate. Sorry, I've no camera on my PC.
God, it is him as well.
It is. How's it going?
How you doing?
Not too bad. Yourself, Grim?
Seen better days, but I'm looking forward.
Well, so, Grim, I didn't see that Muckster had come up there. I was in the background. I came up to let you take your dog out, and what I was going to do to entertain the masses is I was going to juggle, right? So I'll give you a preview, okay? You're welcome, everyone. That was six balls.
And if you didn't see him juggling balls, they were that small. That's the reason why. And they're his own.
Hey, my person came faster than I thought, but it was good seeing you.
All right, no worries. I'll speak to you again soon.
Yep.
Thanks for dropping in, Muckster.
Goodbye to everybody else that I know over there, and the people that I don't know, go screw yourself.
Hello and goodbye. We got Dub Wobs in the chat. Hello, and thank you for coming in. I always get people's names wrong. It's one of them. I call Flutoid an Irishman. He's not. It's only allegedly.
You always add an L to my name for some reason.
Flutoid.
Yeah.
Yep. Why not?
Why not indeed, Glim?
I never ever said I could read and write. Well, I can read, but write's another thing entirely. I think we seem to have lost some small people because they're no longer commenting. Oh well, never mind. It was fun while it was lasted.
Power to the small people.
I might as well talk to this leprechaun.
We prefer the name Vertically Challenged, Grim. It's more politically correct.
You might prefer it, but you are on the Grim Reaper show now. I don't do political correctness. Never have done political correctness. Just ask the ball and chain.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
The world's gone mad with its political correctness.
Oh, God, here we are. Here we go. BBA's here. Muted as soon as he comes in. That's because he's getting told off.
Susan says, big up Futo. Oops.
Actually, I'm getting my head battered about this website. But anyway, big up, guys. What's going on? Good afternoon. Right. Good evening. Good night.
BBA. Refer all the battering, right, to me, because I'll deal with it. You're fine. It's not a problem.
You are fucking welcome to the ear bashing, mate. No problem.
That's okay. It's not a problem. Now you're here, right there.
Well, I don't know if I'm here, but I'm definitely fucking not there.
He needs to take his dog out.
Even if it's just for a short time, so I can take the dog out for a walk.
Right, I'll let the dog take you out for a walk.
That'll do nicely. By the way, I am actually talking about the dog, 4 legs, not 2. Before I got told off.
She definitely was not in the room.
No, she's asleep. I can get away with that one.
Yes, Dub Wobbs, good to see you, man. Hey, the Baseman, Black Watch, Outlaw King. What else we got in here? Suzanne, John, big up yourself, John. And Vanished, big up yourself, Vanished. What's going on with you anyway, Futo? You good?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Bit tired, but all in all, not bad. I went a bit mad over Christmas with my sugar intake, and my doctors were all crazy worried, calling me in and everything because I had blood tests like just after Christmas. Every 6 months, I have to have blood tests for the diabetes, and so now I'm on the wagon. So no carbs, no sugar, no bread, no onions, no pasta, no rice. The list is endless of the things I can't.
No way.
Yeah, really, it's crazy.
Oh well, look on the bright side. I mean, it's a healthier diet, right?
Oh, for sure. I feel so much better, like, and so much more energy and everything. You know,
Yeah.
being on keto. But I do miss the junk food. Something awful. Can't eat pizzas anymore. Well, not real ones.
Oh, no pizza, man.
There's keto pizza that you make out of cauliflower. Like, yeah, I'll skip that one. You make the base out of cauliflower.
Damn.
It's just wishful thinking. Like, yeah, but the natural sweeteners. Like, do you take sugar? Regular sugar?
Yeah. Like I love
You
it in cups of tea and like, yeah.
Oh, it's really bad.
I know, but so are sweeteners as well, right? In fact, sweeteners are probably worse.
No, the
Yeah.
synthetic ones. Yeah, the synthetic ones completely worse than sugar. You're correct. Like aspirate and all that crap. Really, it can't leave your body, and it builds up and builds up. That's why you should never drink those sugar-free Cokes and all that. But there's natural sweeteners that are actually good for you, right? So there's stevia, monk fruit, and xylitol. And xylitol, they found out that it's really good for mouth hygiene as well. It fights tartar and gingivitis and all that. And it's crazy the science of how it works, because when people have gingivitis, it feeds off the sugar, right? So with the xylitol, it tries to feed off the xylitol, and the xylitol has something in it that does something to them that's really bad, to the gingivitis bacteria. So, and it's good for you. I mean, and if we can replace sugar for people, definitely. The only thing is, it's pricey. Like a bag of sugar. What's a bag of sugar?
You know what it is? Like, I was looking at this and it was like trying to cut out acidic foods
Yeah. Well,
and have more of like an alkaline diet,
yeah.
balanced diet.
Yeah.
But that's been pulling out a lot of shit, man. There's a lot of like things, even some things I was like, shit, that's an acidic.
Any chance of us keeping this a little bit shorter? We don't want people thinking it's a very interesting conversation. Not that I know what you were talking about. I came in somewhere along the lines of gingeritis.
Hey, Anarchy Television. Yeah, yeah. We're talking about sweeteners. Natural sweeteners aren't bad for you. So you should all try natural sweeteners. It's just they're pricey though.
Okay, ladies and
Bag of
gentlemen.
stevia is like £5, £4 or £5, and it's not like a kilo bag.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and little people. Just want to say that anything that you hear, this is the opinion of individuals only, and does not reflect in any way whatsoever the channel.
Yeah.
We do believe in freedom of speech, even if it is boring.
Even if YouTube don't give. Can I ask how many times have terms of service been said in this live? Has it been said yet?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yes. I just want to say hello to Wingnut, my old friend. thank you for dropping in. The link is further up if you want to come up and join this interesting conversation regarding oral hygiene.
Yeah, I mean the opinions of the people on panel are their own, but you should take our word over doctors any day of the week.
No. Just go and see a dentist if you've got a problem with oral hygiene, because it's usually the clap.
That's what I want to do. I want to ask either my doctor or my dentist. I said, I've seen some YouTube ads, and they've said that you don't want me to know this. Have you seen those ads, guys?
Can't you
don't want you to know this. Doctors don't want you to know this. It's ruining the medical industry.
Can't you tell this leprechaun's from Bleeding Island? Just saying, just put it out there. Right, I'm going to put the link back
Would
out.
the accent give it away and all, do you think?
Nah, just the way you talk.
Oh, okay. Allegedly. Oh, whoops, I said it.
Yeah, you have to. It's infectious. It's the biggest oral bullshit that I've ever heard of for a while anyway, allegedly.
Allegedly.
It got banned. I've been banned from saying it in certain quarters. UK Transparency, thank you for spamming the chat. I mean, thank you for putting the link out. Oh, by the way, folks, if you want to spam the chat with your own links, I'm not monetized. I don't care. And I'll never be monetized. So if you ever want to support other people by putting a link out, and you can't be bothered just right-clicking on, because the majority of people are blue.
Is it you're not monetized? You're not going to get monetized because money can't buy you love?
No, I just don't agree with taking money from corporations in a legal way. Listen, if I've got my own streaming service, why would I want to promote capitalists, rip-off merchants? You know what I mean? Not that I'm a socialist. I just, I believe in freedom.
So I'm going to ask, I don't know if you have Grim through to it. Has anybody watched the interview with Vladimir Putin and Tucker Carlson?
I tried, but I just kept drifting.
No, I was too busy watching
Oh,
paint dry.
come on, man. You guys, you need to be, come on.
It was boring.
I'd rather listen to Logan Paul talk about prime crap than not.
Wow.
Hey up, we've got cheeky Sprite.
Like there was never going to be any truth to any of it. It was just what.
Why not? Why not? Why is there no truth to it? Why not? That's a good start. Here we go. Why not?
Because it's just what he wants you to know. That's all.
But hang on. But why? Why? What? So you're saying that he's lying and our government's telling the truth? No,
they're all fucking lying. If the word begins with government, it's guaranteed to be.
What I took from it, if we go into any kind of global war, mate, the only one that pushed us into that war is ourselves. This narrative that Mr. Vladimir wants to kind of like push the red button on us all anytime soon. I got to say, I think I believe him. I believe him, and I think it's some bullshit that we hear. What?
Well, to support what you're saying, right? The UN have almost surrounded Russia with military bases, right on up to the borders, right? So that's supporting you. On the other side of it, like Ukraine, right? That's his own personal thing. It's not something the Ukrainian people want.
When he turned around and said the war could have been over 18 months ago, but Boris Johnson made sure that didn't happen. What, you think that's a lie?
So if there was no such person as Boris Johnson, you think Ukraine would have said, yeah, come on in, Russia. Yeah, you're welcome, Russia. Yeah, we want to be Russian because there's no Boris Johnson. I don't believe that.
I'm not saying that. No one said that. But what was said was that Boris Johnson was the one that prevented there being, any peace talks.
How though? What peace talks? Putin wanted Russia, and apparently it's because of some historic thing, some It'd be a while ago since I heard about it, but
Yeah, bro. I think you need to, if you haven't watched it, I think you need to. Can I highlight this? I think they have watched it. True Toy, there was a lot of truth in it. I've done research since watching it, and he gave Tucker official NATO paperwork on why is now the EU trying to ban Tucker from ever coming back.
well, I tell you what, Bear,
man.
you know what? I tell you what, Bear. Since I've known you, right, there's a load of times you've surprised me by being right. Like, not that it's surprising that you should be right. It's just I was convinced of something, and you ended up. You no, listen to me. You ended up being right.
Well, does he?
So based on that, when you say something, I listen. So I will go back and watch it.
Yeah, no, I think it's interesting. I'd say, like, if you're not interested, like me, but it does kind of, I guess, put it into context. It's just long-winded. It's like the first half hour, mate. The first half hour is about, like, which I'm sure you know if you tried watching it. It's Russian fucking history, which I don't really care about, to be honest.
Yeah.
Without sounding
Yeah.
rude, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
after that, some of those questions that you did, it's kind of interesting, man. Again, we not all been led to believe for a long time that he's a very ill man. I mean, don't look very ill to me. I reckon if you put me, you, and him in a room, he'd fuck both of us up.
I don't know.
And he's like, how old?
I think I could take Putin.
Good luck, bro.
I reckon I could take Putin.
It'll snap your neck in an instant.
Can I just point out? Whoa! Wait a second. Can I just point out to Tree Scratcher? You are spelling bear incorrectly. He isn't a bear with claws. He's bear when he walks around.
Tree Scratcher. However, you would almost have a point there if it wasn't for the fact that it's just playing with words. If bear had been spelled B-E-A-R, yeah, then I'd be like, you know what, I'm a right fucking dickhead. But the fact that you haven't worked out that actually it's playing with words, I think it makes you look a bit, not a dickhead, but a bit like, you know, slow on the uptake.
No, that's why I just pointed out.
But don't worry, because I'm slow on the uptake too.
Yeah, you're definitely slow on the uptake. Moving back to the intelligent one out of the two of you, Flutoy.
Wow. Who, me?
Out the two of you. Didn't say it to the three of us.
Ah, okay.
A royal bear at that, yes, Tree Scratcher. I like your 10 out of 10 for your observation, man.
Right. Let's keep it nice and simple, just so that these two can follow it. Simple I am. Yep. There is one golden rule, which is you leave your crap at the door, or you close the door on the way out and just hope it doesn't hit you on the arse.
Nice.
That's the way I look at it, folks.
Yeah.
Why have I just come across proper blunt? If so, apologies.
No, not you.
Oh, it must be me then.
I'm blunt.
He's a bear. He's a bear. He's a bear. And maybe I'm an imposter to the bear, man.
He's a bear poser. That's what it is. Not a bear poster.
The thing is, Bear, Putin, I don't think you think this, but Putin's not a good guy. None of them are.
Yeah, you know, and Joe Biden is. And
no, definitely
they're all
not.
good guys.
No.
The
Definitely not.
murdering scumbag in Israel who runs Israel. Yeah, all these people are really nice, man.
Yeah, no, none of them are, but Putin's a fucking cold.
Why? What makes you say that? What makes you say that?
Well, they had protests because he's just his whole history. Like I did a bit of studying to him, like it's a little bit, but his whole history, because I was doing something on him, and he was in the KGB. He tried to join the KGB as a kid. He went into the KGB and wanted a job, and they were like, "No, we don't hire people who just come in off the street." But working for the KGB automatically makes you not a good guy, yeah, just from the nature of the KGB, right? Same as the CIA, right? I'm not saying the CIA are good.
Just going to hold that
What's
thought there a second. Just want to say hi to James Forbes. Thanks for dropping in, and of course my twin, and everybody else who is taking part in the chat. I'm trying to keep up with it while these two are whittering on about something that
Jump up, man, jump up.
whether
Yeah.
whether they're going to press the button or not is irrelevant to me, because the UK is right smack in the middle of the two countries. We're going to get hit first. Either way.
Again, like
I don't know if it really is, but it shouldn't be.
If I turned around and said to you, who do you think like the aggressors are? Who do you think that they are? What would you say? Vladimir Putin's an aggressor.
Oh,
Say China, right? Yeah.
No.
I'm not saying the others aren't. I'm not saying the
it's-
others aren't. I'm not saying the UN isn't, but I'm saying he is. Never mind the others. He is. He's definitely.
Yeah, no, but what do you mean? Never mind the others.
Never mind the others. The others are bad too. But when you just talk about Putin, just Putin without having anybody else in mind, by saying
What about
he's
the
bad.
UN? What about
but
the
the other
UN? What about the UN?
Yeah,
The way
definitely,
they're
definitely.
doing it?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Everybody at that level of politics is
follow
has
the
no moral.
money. Follow
Yeah,
the
no,
money.
he's one of the richest men in the world. Like, you know what I mean? You can't outvote him.
Thank you,
He
Anakin
will be
Television.
surprised.
NATO
He's
and EU are the aggressors. NATO and
no,
the EU
yeah,
are the aggressors.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean,
Anarchy,
they
come on.
are, but it's not
Bro,
for
they're
nothing.
going against. They're
they
going
didn't
against
decide-
documents. They're going against
Hold on.
agreements and documents, right? That like
Crying out loud, you two. You're not listening, are you? Follow the money.
Yeah, well, there's money on both sides.
The bankers win. Who owns the banks? Who's pulling the strings?
Well, I ain't saying that on here. I ain't saying that on here. 'cause,
No,
you know,
I'm just pointing it out.
But,
Oh, hang on. We've got a little one in the back. Just give me 2 seconds. I need to make sure we got protection. There we go. Hello, who's calling the golden shot? Is it the dart?
Fuck off.
Hello, Susan.
It's only little Susan.
Hello, Photo. I thought I'd keep you company up here with the tall people.
Nice one. I heard
can
Meg looking up
Is
at
it
the
all right? Is it all right we call you Sue?
Absolutely fine.
Little
Yeah.
Sue.
Why are you
All
trying to
right.
give her a short name, Grim? Short people can have long names, you know. You can call her Susan.
Was that just to make up for the fact that she's short?
Anyway, I didn't come up here to disrupt the subject.
Oh, have you seen that police forces up and down the country are all being given £1 million each? Apparently, it's meant to be in the total of around about 66 million, something like that. They're all meant to be getting 1 million each, and that £1 million is to be spent on cracking down on antisocial behaviour. So, to all auditors, expect more interactions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn right.
I hate these blanket terms. You know what I mean? It means they can just decide to use it anytime they want on anything they want. Oh, you raised your voice. Oh, you looked at me wrong.
Yeah, you pointed a camera at me.
Yeah.
You
He
shot me
asked
with
my
your-
name and color number. They're all nuts. I'm telling you, it's nuts.
Okay,
Government
let's-
attracts a certain type of person, I believe. And the
Say that
ones
again,
who,
boy, I missed that. What was that, mate?
I said government attracts a certain type of person, right? And well, it attracts two type of people, right? Power hungry, immoral people, and people who want to help other people in a proper role of government. They get kicked out at the start because there's no room for them, and the power hungry tyrants take control.
My
That's the way
twin,
it is.
you want to be careful of them helicopters. Stop nicking them.
And if you're not immoral and a tyrant, you won't make it in politics.
So
Yeah,
what's the reason that Donald Trump did?
Well, there you go. For example.
Hang on a second. He threw everything at Donald Trump recently just to see what sticks. They forgot his middle name's called Teflon.
Listen, I don't care what anyone says about Trump, whether you fucking like him, love him, or loathe him, or whatever, right? You cannot knock this guy for being one resilient motherfucker. Like,
please, if you're going to hit the like button, don't hit the red button.
this guy could literally, like, I mean, it's not, the likelihood is not going to happen, but this guy could literally become president from a prison cell and conduct. And
But
there's
he can't-
nothing in the Constitution that states that that can't happen. A
Who would you
president
prefer,
can run
Biden or
from a
Trump?
prison cell. Well, I'm not American, so I don't think my
No.
opinion matters. But,
No, mine neither.
but if we were to have a choice, we were going to be told one of those were running our country, it would definitely be Trump.
I don't know. I was like, when Trump first came out, I was like, oh, let's give him a chance because everybody hates him. Like all the high wigs hate him. Hillary Clinton and all them hate him. So let's give him a chance because that must be a good thing. And then
There's a
he
good
goes around
question.
grabbing women by the private parts. That was it for me. I was like, what leader of anything will do that? And that
Right.
blew it.
Yeah, but hang on, he didn't do that as leader.
It's
No, but hang on. So he's not allowed to be a normal person, and let's be honest.
that's a normal person, Bear. Go around.
No,
grab
no,
women
no,
by the
I'm not
private
saying
parts.
you're not. Hang on, you're not listening to what I'm saying. Do we?
Go on.
That the person now says it wasn't consensual. I'm guessing, right? For there to be uproar about that, right? Because I'm guessing that's the case, right?
Well, he admitted that he does it regularly. That usually people don't get anything because he's famous. He gets away with it because he's famous.
Well,
That's
he
what
just goes up and grabs women's
yeah.
between
He's
their
away
legs.
with it because he's famous. He said it's on tape. Like, is that guy who secretly
Please
recorded?
take a breath in between sentences. Or
All
something.
right. Well, I don't.
Gives
well,
me
I-
a chance to actually say
well,
something.
I don't agree with that, obviously.
Right.
Yeah,
So, can you address the question or the statement which I put there from Anarchy? If people do not think that people can be trusted with freedom and self-governance, what makes anyone think that anyone can be trusted with power? All right. And a follow-up statement is, rule me harder, daddy government.
that's funny. Well,
So,
power,
there you
power
go. I
rule-
mean,
All right. Well, listen. Still, if I had to pick between a man that grabs a woman's private parts and a fucking old biddy that likes to fucking grope young kids, I mean, I'm probably going to go with the fucking first one rather than the latter. To
don't
be
go
honest.
with any of them. Don't accept it. We shouldn't have accept these shit from. We shouldn't accept
Well,
old.
I don't
fucking
accept
people
any of
who-
them. I mean, I don't think we
Yeah.
should have any of them, to be honest.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
exactly,
saying. If you have to
exactly.
pick one of two evil,
gentlemen,
No,
gentlemen,
no, fuck them.
Gentlemen,
we shouldn't have
gentlemen.
to do that. We shouldn't
I
have to
use
settle
that
for
word
the
phrase.
worst of a
I
bad
use that-
lot.
Big up,
I use
Jobs.
that very, very loosely. Almost as loose as my dog's diarrhea. I just want to say that when Trump was in power, he was known as the oldest president. Then came along Biden, who then became the oldest president. Now, when Trump gets re-elected, because we know he will do, right, he will then become the oldest president. Do you not think that it's about time we had younger people in power, like ourselves?
Yeah, but that ain't on the cards, is it? So, where
And
is
that's
that?
another
Where's
thing.
the people voting from if that was the case? They're not, are they? So, you know.
That's another thing. In
Yeah, I mean, I
power-
do wish you'd
in power,
watched.
Graham.
I
Graham,
did
what
say-
do you mean in power? Well, what does that mean? They're public servants. The president is a public servant. Is not in power.
So
that's
is
the
the
problem
prime
with the world.
minister. It doesn't mean to say they don't have delusions of grandeur.
No, they
Right.
do. Yeah, the power they have is being given to them by the people.
Right.
We allow them
When
to
you
have
take
certain powers.
a breath in between sentences, it's worthwhile looking and seeing what the chat is saying. Just that, just put it out there.
I'm saying, man, come up. I'll put the link out for everyone. Come
The
up.
link is out.
Don't be shy, man.
Well, what you
Come
need
up,
to
bro.
do is, what you need to do, and I keep saying this, is that the chat needs to be more involved in the discussion, and they
Get
are.
your fucking dub webs up. Get my twin up. Get them all up.
Well,
I
the links
have
there.
a bit of a solution, right?
Oh God, here we go. Here's a little one.
Get rid of party politics. No more stupid party politics. You just vote for an individual for a certain part, like a minister of finance, a minister of justice, a minister of whatever, whatever. No party association. You just vote the best man into the job. He can't
What
do the
about
job,
women?
he's out, and you get another one in who can do the job.
What about the
Right? And
women?
they're not
The women?
connected. They can't be connected into this
I
gang.
think that's very true. That is very true. I hadn't
What
forgotten.
about the women?
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you male chauvinist pig.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, of course, and the women.
And the short people.
Yeah,
But
especially
what we'll have to do is to put steps on that they can climb up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But the camera makes us look bigger, so
Only in your case, it puts £50 just on your forehead. Sorry, couldn't resist it.
Allegedly.
No, that wasn't allegedly. When will these people learn? It's my show. I can say what I want within reason. Don't like it, fuck off. Right. I don't know whether you've noticed Little Sue's smaller friend. But Little Sue hasn't said anything since she came up. You've not given her an opportunity. You're just ignoring these little people.
I'm sorry, Susan.
I mean, I did ask the question, I suppose.
Really?
And kind of going back to what Futoy said, I'm not sure how much of that. Like, obviously, there's some truth behind it. But if it's happening all the time, I think we'd know more about it. I don't care how famous he is. The whole Me Too thing and all that. It would have come out with that.
Well, he admitted it, right, on tape. He was being secretly recorded by somebody, right?
Yeah.
And he admitted it on tape that he gets away with it because he's famous.
I don't believe he does it all the time. That's just all I'm saying.
Maybe not all the time, but isn't once too much. But besides that, right, he's obviously done it more than once if he says he gets away with it because he's famous. So he's obviously done it a few times. For some reason, they haven't. I don't know. Maybe he was boasting, or I don't know. But is that a president? Is that somebody you want?
Well, listen, either way, I think the West politically, on a whole, has never looked as weak as it has for a long time, man, as it does now. It looks weak. America looks weak. Like you say, you got two fucking old men in fucking the only two running. You know, both look like they're going to fucking drop down any minute.
Biden's older
over
than my
here.
dad, and I can't imagine my dad running more than his house.
Let's look at Trudeau. I mean, fucking Trudeau in fucking Canada as well. I mean, he's a fucking right knobhead, isn't he? Let's be honest.
He ain't old, is he? He's not old.
He's not old, but he's a knobhead.
Yeah, he's totally fucking the country up.
He's
Yeah,
fucking
a young guy.
snowflakey as fuck, mate. He's fucking well
absolutely.
snowflakey, man.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that's no good. That looks like a weak. You look weak. You've got leaders like that, weak.
Thank you, Outlaw. I'll let you read
Okay.
that.
Locker talk. Did you say that in a locker? Trying to impress somebody? That's not something I would say to somebody to impress them.
But nobody's ever come forward. I didn't realise that. I thought someone had.
No, yeah, there was people who come forward, wasn't there? The woman he did it to.
Are we still talking about the ex-President Trump's President Trump to be?
Yeah, but that's right. They're two old fools that shouldn't be anywhere near politics.
Doesn't matter. Their party picked them, and the way that the voting system works.
There you go. Stupid party politics. There you go.
I'm saying it, man. Trust me. People can say what they want about the likes of Russia, Putin, China, but I know. Fucking. Let's be honest, man. We're just weak. The Western world is weak. It really is.
You've got supporters there in Aid the Baseman.
Because he's a fucking legend.
Oh, Corner, fists in the air. Good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. Always a pleasure. want people to go over and have a look at Four Corner and look at the crap that he's been going through just recently. He spent 5 days recently incarcerated for no reason that I could see. But that's just me. And then when somebody went over to support him, they got arrested as well. They spent one night in. And from what I can gather, Four Corner was arrested under the premise that a female officer felt threatened by his presence, even though he was being moved further and further and further back. They didn't arrest him on the day. They waited till the following day, and they got a warrant to go and arrest him. Fantastic, isn't it? Eh? Now, nobody, we talk about accountability. We can't expect the presidents, the prime ministers, the dictators in countries to be accountable in any shape or form if the local stormtroopers aren't being held accountable.
But they're just puppets for them. No, that's not true, because they're just puppets for them. So until the corruption stops at the very top, you can't expect fucking stormtroopers to be any different.
I totally agree with what you're saying up there, Bear. But even the prime ministers, etc., are being controlled by somebody else because they're just puppets.
I don't think Putin's a puppet now, in all fairness. But the other, no, not Putin, but the others, yeah. Putin is his own puppet master. Trust me. The guy is crazy, crazy, crazy rich. He's up with the what you call your man, the CEO of
It's nowhere near as rich as the Rockefellers.
I don't know about that now.
Just officially, he owns the Russian gold.
No, officially he has wage, but he has he's one of the richest men in the world, honest to God, and it's all bad money. It's all very bad money.
My twin says Trump is Putin's puppet. Laughed my ass off.
And Cheeky Spikes has asked us a question: what is the point in voting? Well, there isn't.
Well, because if you don't, even if you don't vote, they're going to choose for you. So.
It's an illusion that you have a choice.
Exactly, Grim. Well said.
That's what it is. So whoever you vote for, the government is still going to get in. It happened on Tuesday, and then they put the warrant out on Press for Transparency, and I came home from work with 4 police units to arrest me. Press for Transparency was arrested on Monday. There you go. I got most of it right, just the days. But this is the sort of thing which the stormtroopers are doing. That and if it's going to be something which they're going to be doing, you're going to end up with auditors going out, getting the footage, and then some trumped-up warrant being issued by some clapped out judge who's probably too old to understand what he's actually doing. So it's either going to be a Biden or a Trump.
Are we allowed to use bad language?
Oh, no.
Shower of bastards. That's what I think.
It is after the watershed in the UK. And well past the watershed in Uganda. As it was pointed out earlier, someone's been doing some research.
Who was the best English Prime Minister ever? Who?
That's a tough one. Yeah, none of the above.
If you're actually talking about, if you're talking about the best prime minister that did most for the working class, I would say it was Harold Wilson.
You see, the problem with Churchill is he sent a load of people to their deaths. Like his tactic was to just throw men at the guns till they ran out of bullets. That's the only problem with Churchill.
And he was the head of a coalition government. And funny enough, following the war, the next general election, he wasn't elected when he stood as a Conservative leader.
Same question to Futoy.
Oh, I don't know.
James,
I agree with you, Sue. None
You're
of the
going to no comment me, Futoy.
above. None of the above. None of the
Sorry.
above is my official comment.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
what was the best Irish Prime Minister?
Not sure I can name any.
Well, that's a hard one. That's
Val
hard.
Doonican?
Who?
Val Doonican?
Oh, one of the big lads. One of the tall ones.
Val Doonican.
You know what? You know who I liked? Maybe not her policies, but for charisma and strength, and I'd say Margaret Thatcher, but I know she's very unpopular. But
Because she was a shithead.
but she was so charismatic. and such a strong woman.
Thatcher, like, weren't too bad. I mean, like, she fucked up
Thatcher?
a lot. Yeah, no,
Thatcher,
mate,
the bottle
she
of
didn't
milk
fuck
snatcher.
about. She didn't fuck about, mate.
She went against the miners though, or something, didn't she? She was bad.
Mhm.
No, she didn't go back against the miners. She went
No,
against
she went
the working
against the
class.
North. She basically went against the whole of the North, really, mate. That's what she
Spread the
done. That's
power.
why you'll never find a Northerner that will ever fucking give Margaret Thatcher any credit, because the North hate her. They hate her. Trust me, completely fucked them all up.
And then as soon as you get to near Warsaw, all of a sudden they change their mind. Shitheads. So Margaret Thatcher's first ministerial position as head of education, Minister for Education, before she became Prime Minister, was to get rid of free milk.
She got
Because
rid of
she-
milk.
Yes.
That's true as well. Don't forget, a lot of this privatised stuff that you see now, she started that.
And she's the one who got rid of the nationalised industries. And what she said was, and this is how she won it, was on the basis that people didn't have the choice. It was the government ruling. Oh, hang on a second. What we got now, folks? The government ruling. The only difference is now, as a country, we don't have steel. We import it.
Yeah,
We
from
don't
our
have coal
so-called enemies.
anymore. We import it.
Again, from our so-called enemies.
Exactly. So, who wins? Not the people.
Again, I go back to, this is why the West looks so weak.
No, I don't disagree with you.
Same as America, man. America relies far too much on China. That's why, again, first time round, I kind of like that from Trump, you know? Stop fucking pumping money into China and start bringing it back home, man. Bring more
But no mobile
manufacturing and
phones
that
will
back
work,
into your
will
own
they?
nation.
Yeah, but hang on a second. No mobile phones will ever work. No laptops will ever work. All those chips that people thought came from Silicon Valley don't. They come from China.
No more Wish.com stuff.
No more Amazon delivered by drone.
Do you know
I never get a drone delivery because I live in a no drone zone.
That's it.
Aren't you
That
lucky?
sucks. That's shit.
What about the little robots? Do they have them yet? They have them in America, like the little robot cars.
No, they're not going to have them here. I live in the back half of nowhere.
They get
Well,
robbed, wouldn't they? Somebody would eyedrop them.
Here's an idea for you. Move.
Yeah,
Move
I
out of
remember
it.
why.
But to start with, my twin, maybe to bring stuff back, maybe you might have to sacrifice things, but it wouldn't forever be like that. It's only the way it is now because you've allowed yourselves to be heavily reliant on China,
But it
right?
doesn't work
It
the other way
works the
around as
same
well.
way.
Doesn't it though? The Chinese rely on the money because China isn't a rich country. Like,
Right?
Well, the government is because they keep it all.
yeah, the government.
Say that again. China's not a rich country.
Well, not the people, like not the state, like.
Are you shitting me?
What though? Well, maybe it's getting better, but it's not. Like, I mean, the cities are all run down. The pollution is off the charts.
Yeah, there's
Listen.
fucking God knows how many billion people that live there, bro. I mean, that's expected, right? You're gonna
Yeah,
get
but
some
hang on
pollution.
a second,
they don't want to lose America's custom. The money they're making off America, they don't want to lose that. Right? So it's works both ways, I think.
Yeah, hang on a second. Don't forget that in order for everybody to be self-reliant, right, and move away from China, you've got to ensure that Taiwan can provide everything. Which
Yeah,
is the
but
reason why China are starting to do their best to get hold of Taiwan.
Well, that started. They've been doing it for a long time, right? They want Taiwan. That's the next war. Is China.
Do you think that
realise
happens?
that, UK?
Do you think
The-
that happens?
Think what happens?
Do you think China move in on Taiwan?
Well, yeah, they've been trying to for years. They want to. Like,
Listen. Come on. Are we seeing how
China,
far the
anyway.
edge of fucking Taiwan is to the edge of China? Mate, if they wanted to do something, they could have done that shit by now, 10,000
No.
fucking times over.
No,
Oh,
that's
like-
the problem, because that
Yeah.
will actually spark a
World War
serious
III.
war.
I know,
Yeah,
I know.
well,
That's what I'm
be
saying.
World War III.
Do you think they'd go there? I know what it would. I know what it would
They want
cause. I
to.
know what the outcome would be.
They want to, but then America's going to get involved. Australia's going to get involved. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy how volatile that place is at the moment. Crazy.
Have
Volatile.
they not just been waiting for a reason to start?
Well, they should have done it when Putin was doing Ukraine, and then the world would have been like, "Oh shit, who do we go for first? Oh shit, it's so much." And then North Korea should have went for South Korea, and then the England and America and the rest of us would have had no clue what to do. It would have been like, "Oh shit, we can't fight 3 wars at the 3 fronts," you know?
That's before you talk about the Middle East.
Oh yeah.
Which is a never-ending fucking problem.
Anyway,
Can I just ask the same question, which SJ Barbecue Sauce has said? What are we talking about?
oh,
I mean,
Yeah.
fair question.
Thank you for nipping in and asking the question. It's very important. I'm not taking the mickey out of the question. I'm taking the mickey out of these two who've been going on for the last hour and a half.
SJ, the answer is anything and everything
We keep
within the
moving it
terms and
out.
conditions.
We didn't read them. The invisible ones, you know.
Yeah.
What do you want to fucking talk about, man? Listen, come on. What do you want to bring up? What do you want to talk about that's going to be more interesting than what me and Futo are bringing to you right now?
that's right.
More than we
Anyone that
realise,
thinks they can
Outlaw.
do any better, I will put this link out. Anyone that thinks they can do any better than me and Futo, yeah, then do please come up and share.
Outlaw has a
something.
good question.
What's
No,
the
Outlaw,
question?
don't want to hear it. Get on the panel. Don't want to hear it.
Not reading it. Not reading it. No,
You're
you don't
not
want to
bad.
read. You don't want to read out loud. Get up
I'm
here.
spitting my dummy out now. That's it. I'm spitting my dummy out.
All right.
You now
Will be
know
the
who
first
that is
time.
in the chat there.
So the question
Oh.
is for the panel:
No, I've just
do
worked
any
out
of
who
you
it is now.
actually know how many wars are going on in the world at the moment? It's a very good question, that.
How many wars are going on at the moment?
Define
That's
war.
a fucking silly question, really, isn't it? I mean,
No, it's not. Which countries have declared war on which countries?
Well,
no
Declared.
one's
Yeah.
declared war. No, hang on. That's a trick question because no one's
I know
declared
it is.
war on
It's a
no
good
one.
question.
No,
That's the
no
answer.
one's
There aren't
declared
any.
war on anyone.
Yeah, so there aren't any wars. There's conflicts.
Well,
Yeah.
doesn't mean they're not wars. No, that's bullshit. Just because it's not declared doesn't mean it's not a war.
well,
That's
there's,
bullshit.
Okay,
That's
how many
like saying-
conflicts?
there's genocide in Yemen, isn't there? Am I getting that right, or am I confused?
Palestine.
These are not for all-out war. This is conflict.
Genocide in Palestine. What are you on about, man? Tell me there ain't. Anyone want to try and tell me there ain't? Anyone want to disagree with that?
Actually, there is one war which is going on. There has been a declaration of war against short people.
Between short people.
And,
We will
that is now
What, like-
becoming a genocide.
We
Like,
will
we're going back
win.
to like Lord in the Ring kind of times. And
No. We will win
And the-
because we're harder to
Well,
shoot. There's less to aim at.
America. I can't pronounce it properly. I think it may be a misspell.
I like that comment. They all call it a conflict because everyone's a bit too pussy in case the nukes come out. Ain't that is the truth. That is it, isn't it, as well? That is it. No one everyone's
Okay.
just pussyfooting around each other. Yeah, we'll drop bombs here, but
You referred to Margaret Thatcher. Was there actually
The
war
Iron Lady.
Was there a war between Great Britain and Argentina?
Fuck off, UK transparency.
It was called the Falklands War, was it not?
No, it was never called that because the war was never declared. It was a conflict.
Well, yeah, that's the same with America. America haven't been officially to war
It
in
was a war.
No, it wasn't.
centuries.
I don't know what happened then. I think somebody kicked you. It wasn't me.
kick two.
No, I clicked something.
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough.
She fell off the
It was a
step ladder.
war.
There wasn't a war. It was never declared. It was a conflict. Go back and even look at the mainstream. They would be the first one to say Thatcher invented it so she could get re-elected.
Wolf
War
Wars sounds
Wars.
like a Star Wars film.
Red Dwarf.
It's been reenacted with dwarfs.
Shame how dwarfs always get into this.
Well, wasn't that the same with America?
Same
America
with you,
didn't
yeah.
declare war on Afghanistan or
Oh, shit.
any of that.
Hang on.
Hang on.
It was an undeclared war. What the shit does that even mean?
It was a conflict.
You can't kind of. It sounds like they were halfway there. Well, we can't say it is, but it kind of was.
It was never a war, it was a conflict. Listen, what's the difference between a war and a conflict? Someone explain that to me.
Well, to have the war, you have to declare it.
Yeah,
No, you
definitely.
don't. No
Usually
bullshit.
declared.
Nah, that's bullshit. That's bullshit.
You look.
So you're allowed to
Constitution
act.
of them.
You're allowed to act. Every act that you make is in every way fucking representing war and suggesting war, but you're not actually declaring it, so it doesn't count as war. That's bollocks.
Yeah,
That's fucking bollocks.
It's true.
yeah, well, that's what
Nah.
America
You
did
look at-
for the last.
Yeah, no, it's
Gentlemen,
only
gentlemen,
true because we sit around.
gentlemen.
How many
Yeah,
people
well, all right,
march?
then, Bear, shut the fuck up a minute.
No, I
Thank
can't
you.
shut up, man. How many people marched the streets for fucking us not to go in Iraq? They've still done it, right?
It still wasn't a war.
Yeah, it wasn't a war. Exactly. Their words, like
It wasn't a war. Oh
it wasn't
my days.
officially a war. It wasn't officially a war.
The last
None of that
time
stuff in the
that
Middle East was
Britain,
officially a war.
the last time that Britain and America entered into a war
World War
was-
Three.
was World War II.
World War Two. Sorry, yeah, World War Two.
The last one that got
Into them,
it was the last one that got passed through Congress. Yes, but
And
that's
the
not
right.
to say
and
it's
the
not
last-
a war.
Let me finish. And the last war that was declared by Britain was when King George declared war on Germany. It wasn't the Prime Minister, because the Prime Minister does not have that authority.
Right.
Only the King or the Queen can. And
So that-
during
right.
Queen Elizabeth's reign, she has never declared war on any country.
Well, surely
And
she had to give.
conflict.
Oh no, because it was a conflict. Yeah. Sorry. Catch up, Susan.
Susan, come on, man.
Thatcher thought she could, but she couldn't.
Oh,
That's
I'm talking
why-
about the legal definition, not what you think is. I'm talking about the actual definition of war.
right. Right.
I always did.
Conflict. A Falkland conflict.
Yes. The Americans called it a war in Vietnam, but it wasn't a war.
Who won that conflict? Anyway,
No one. Stalemate.
No,
The
Falklands.
Americans.
We're going home.
Oh, the
we
Falk-
lose, we're going home. Is that kind of what happened?
Right. Oh, sorry. Who won the conflict over in for the Falklands?
Yeah,
Well, I can tell you who lost. The Penguins.
yeah.
Right. And some guy called Simon Weston who refused to do what he was told. But let's face it, we're all getting all het up over the idea of war. No, none of the big leaders is prepared to hit that red button to declare or to cause a nuclear war. This has been their threat since the 70s. Right? No way. It's all about I've got more weapons than you. It's always that way, right? However, I will say now that we've accepted the idea of nuclear warheads again to be delivered to the UK and to be stored here, that heightens the idea of that. It's the same as it happened back in the 70s and the 80s, etc. It was the threat of where we can put
Cold
these.
War.
I have
War.
a question.
No, it was after the Cold War.
No, but it's a Cold War. When it comes to nukes, it ends in Cold War.
Well,
Where there's the threat of nuclear strike, but
yeah,
it
but
will-
nobody will do it.
yeah, thank God. I mean, Bear, do you really want like Trump with his finger on a fucking button? On the nuclear
Who said
button? I don't.
Trump, who says Trump is going to do that?
Oh,
Well, Trump
I'd be
can't.
worried. I'd be worried of Trump doing it.
I'd be
I'll be
frightened of
worried
them.
about any of these people doing it, bro. I don't think listen, I don't want to sit here and start going too much with my tinfoil hat on, but if you believe that any of these so-called leaders are the people that make the final decisions anyway, then you're looking down the wrong path.
Okay.
Civil
All right.
disobedience has been happening in America for the longest time now. I just want to sort of like rephrase that. The Civil War ended a long, long time ago. Since then, it's been a Cold War, according to Bear and the other tinfoil hat people.
Well, they didn't really have nukes in the Civil War, did they? And the North isn't going to nuke the South, and the South isn't going to nuke the North.
I love the fact we can have an open conversation, we can have a serious conversation, then you get me interjecting. Because
So thoughts on Russia's space nukes?
Yeah, see that.
hello,
They want to
Trevor,
let a nuke off in space, don't they?
Yeah,
just to see what happens.
Who?
Russia.
They want to let a nuclear bomb off in space.
Yeah, well, the Americans will be claiming space will be say around saying you can't do that near our satellites. You'll knock them out.
I mean, people. No, I mean, I don't know a lot at all. Obviously, we all know that. But how would that actually work? I mean, a bomb being let off in space. I mean,
It would be the shockwave, I imagine, that would do the damage, innit?
The theory behind it would be that it would cause, like you say, a shockwave. It would cause a problem with the atmosphere.
any fucking satellite up there would fucking probably go, wouldn't it?
That's the idea. It's for taking out satellites and shit.
Yeah, I mean, there's a joke going around from since we started putting satellites up there that they're all armed to the teeth and there'll be a space war, etc. In other words, you're going to have.
Well, can I just say, Maui,
stations
the Maui
fighting each other.
fires, the Maui fires.
What?
That weren't no natural fucking disaster, man.
Oh,
That in
New
Hawaii.
Zealand, in
Maui, man.
Hawaii.
In Hawaii, yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the
Yes,
reasons
sir.
why Hawaii, as a state, have decided in their infinite wisdom that they are going to reject anything to do with the Second Amendment, because they say that their Constitution and the American Constitution says armed militia being army, can be armed, not individuals.
Still not talking about all those children missing.
Anyway.
That's gone now, isn't it? That's gone now. You know how like yesterday's news is today's news is fucking tomorrow's old news, isn't it? You know.
Well, so
No one's
anything
asking the
printed
questions,
today is,
and no one was then. No one was saying nothing then.
well, no,
But-
nobody said anything then because it didn't affect anybody other than
It
a
did.
small little area.
did.
No, well, let me finish. It didn't affect anyone except for this small little area, and everybody else turned a blind eye. It may have hit the national news in some states, but that's about all for a couple of days. It didn't hit international news. And then you get certain celebrities who support.
Why didn't it? Why does something like that not make international news? Ask yourself. Why doesn't it?
Because the puppet masters didn't want it to.
Why did they not want it to?
So the other puppet masters could arrange for a charity to be raised so that they can pay people thousands and thousands of dollars to do nothing but sit on their ass. So the money which is raised doesn't actually get through to anybody. Because
most
it's all
people are
being
blind
paid
as
out.
fuck. Because most people are blind as fuck, right? So then that takes like the majority, a massive proportion of those people out straight away. And then the few that like do speak about it and stuff by anybody else around the world, and those that kind of fucking are brainwashed, just call you a conspiracy theorist or that you're some kind of fucking crackpot. That's exactly why.
There you go. Dubwobs, it's going to snow tonight, or so the news says.
Do you reckon
Does that
though?
mean it's factual?
Fuck the snow. We hate the snow, man. Keep the snow.
Do you reckon maybe the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, was misinterpreted? Do you know the way there were more?
The second was there to protect the first, bro.
But maybe it was misinterpreted these days.
No.
They were very.
No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What do you mean misinterpreted these
Wait.
days?
Wait, hear me
Hang
out.
on, why are we
Let me
changing
finish.
things to misinterpret? No, hang on. I don't get that. Misinterpret something these
If I
days.
finish, you'll get it. If I finish, you'll get it. What? They were so much more conservative in those days. What if the right to bear arms really just meant the right to wear short sleeve T-shirts?
It doesn't. It actually means to like you basically, and obviously it would never work. Like you'd never be allowed. But by rights, what bear arms means is you should be allowed to have a fucking big jet on your driveway if you want, fucking armed to the nines with missiles, the fucking lot. That's what you should be allowed to do.
Yeah.
Well,
there-
legally,
it's there.
there's no reason why not. Oh, Dubs.
It's there for a tyrannical government.
Oh shit! I didn't know that it's like in a lot of states deemed like illegal to fucking wear like body armor and shit. It's mad.
That's right. That's right. Because if they want to shoot
That's
you, they
mad.
want to shoot you. They want you to
You can
die.
have the gun, but you can't have the armor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Yeah, if we have to arrest you and shoot you, we need you to die. We don't want you protecting yourself.
Okay,
That's what that's
please,
about.
please check out the alien belt, the Van Alien belt, because they're trying to figure out how to get past it. Our eldest knew there was going to be an America. And it's going to come up. America is in its failing time, so we can't depend on America's survival anymore. We have to depend on our own survival. That is very true, but it's not just America. The issue when I say the issue, I'm all for you've been able to protect yourselves against the invaders, and I'm not talking about alien invaders here, folks. I'm talking about the invaders of the government and the stormtroopers, the militia. And this is the interesting bit: a militia is not an army which is organized by the government. A militia is people coming together with arms to fight against the government.
Right, tyrannical government. Yeah.
So, of course, they should have the right. It's to enforce the First Amendment.
Yeah.
But there again, if you don't believe me, then that's your choice. I have no problems. I'm not here to try and preach to the converted or vice versa. I'm just putting my point across. I'm not an American. I don't have any rights.
Well, you do if you're over there, actually.
You do, yeah.
When you get over there, yeah, but I still won't have the right to bear arms.
But we have
Yeah.
those. Oh, we have
No, I don't.
very similar.
Because
very
only
similar.
a naturalized American or a civilian, somebody who is taken oaths to the flag, right, to America, has the right to bear arms, not a visitor. No. I have checked it out.
Just depends on the state. Nah, just different from what I've heard from American.
Let me finish. I started, so I will finish. Right. I checked this out. I can go to a gun range with somebody who is fully licensed, etc., and has the right to carry weapons, right? And I can pay me $300 to shoot and to learn how to shoot. But I cannot carry one legally.
You can do that here.
Yeah, if I wanted to.
You've got a fucking shooting range just around the corner from me.
Grim, can I ask you a question?
The councillor. Well,
Why did you research this, Grim? You know they got John F. Kennedy already.
Say that again. Sorry, I missed it.
Why did you look into this? You know they already shot John F. Kennedy. They got him. Stand down.
Well, what's John F. Kennedy got to do with the price of chips?
Well, why were you wanting to see if you could carry a gun or not?
Well, I wasn't. I was just correcting something that Bear said.
All right.
Why would you not want to carry a gun?
Well, I don't have a problem carrying a gun. If it was my God-given right to.
No, I'm asking a food toy. Sounds like you didn't agree with that.
No, I mean, he would have had planned. I'm going to go to America and I want to get a gun. Let's look into it to see if I legally can.
No, that's not what happened.
Straight up, if I'm going to America, that would be one of the first things I'm Googling.
I wanted to. I was talking to.
Being honest.
I was talking to Wandering Hippie, and he explained to me that I would be protected under the Constitution of the same rights as every other visitor or American citizen, but there would be two that I would not have the right to. One is vote, two is to carry a gun. I wouldn't be allowed to because I'm not an American. Everything else, I have that protection under the Constitution.
Didn't a load of dead people vote in the last election in America?
Not according to my records. However, maybe, I'm talking about souls, right? But apparently there was a lot of earth moved in graveyards.
Yeah.
Because these people got up, these corpses got up and put next on the voting paper, allegedly. Although it was never proven categorically. Allegedly.
Yeah, that's right, Dubwub. Yeah. But that's a good point that Outlaw made, is that where is it now? Let me just try to find it.
Yeah, as I say, the only two things that, well, I'm not allowed. I wouldn't be allowed to vote, and I wouldn't be allowed to carry a gun. Full stop. I wouldn't be able to. Are you allowed to
go to like a dispensary and get weed?
Yes.
I guess if you live there,
if it's legal, no. If it's legal in that state, I can go and do that. If it's legal in that state, and there's the state says that you can walk down the street smoking marijuana, I can do.
I reckon if you bought a house there and lived there legally through visas or whatever, I think they'd let you have a gun.
Once you become an American citizen, yes.
All right. So Outlaw King said the Second Amendment was based partially on the right to keep and bear arms in the English common law. You see, that's the thing. All of America's
we're not going down common law.
Is based on the English on the
what
original.
Is everyone's problem with common law, man?
Because it's never ever going to
I don't understand it. I see Freaking or whatever his name is on the the People's Podcast, yeah?
Who
And he was
talks about
talking about how everyone's kind of attacked him for talking about like his and I don't get it. I don't get about a load of people that like are into protecting their rights and being clued up on their rights. That when common law gets spoken about, everyone's like, fucking.
Do you know
common
why?
law.
You know why? Because there's a load of people who say silly things like you don't have to have insurance and you don't have to have a license.
So you
to drive.
don't. So you don't.
But the thing is, right? They're gonna do you on it. They're gonna do you. They're not gonna say,
No,
"Oh,
no.
you're right." You can't fight it in court like they say you can. They're gonna
There's
do
ways
you on it.
you can
You can't do anything. They're gonna do you on it. You
you
have
can
to
give up your corporate name.
Oh no! You see, that's why people get angry because it doesn't work in court. They don't let you away with it. Honestly, Bear, they screw
I'm
you up.
telling you, you can get rid of your corporate name.
But besides that, right? Let me give you a scenario. Right? You're a
Hang
plumber.
on.
Right?
2 seconds. 2 seconds before you go there. Just want to say, woo, fucking woo. Sorry.
Woo woo
No, it's
Woo,
woo,
woo.
fucking woo.
woo fucking woo.
Let's get it right. That's just for Northwoods. Thanks for coming up.
You've all just sat there and basically agreed that fucking even like the American law, it's all based and comes from common law.
Yeah.
No, I haven't said
It
that.
evolved from it evolved. It's no.
How
It's
did it?
evolved.
How did it about? How
Well,
does the?
Hold
How,
on, let me
again?
give you the scenario. Let me give you the scenario, right? So there's a plumber, right? And he's got all his tools in his van. He's got his van. He's going to work. He bought his house. His wife having twins, right? They need the money for the children. They need the money to pay the house. He's got other bills. He's working like fucking nobody's business, going to a job. Some guy comes around, crashes into his car, totals his car, and there's no insurance. Right? That's him without a fucking vehicle, without work for a couple of days or whatever. How is that right? How is that right? How is the guy going to go, oh, common law says I don't need insurance and a driving license? How is that right? It's
Hang
not
on.
right.
At that point, you've crashed into something, and so therefore there's something to answer for. There's something to answer for because you've crashed into somebody and ruined their shit.
Yeah, how does that?
But you know you have committed an offence. You've committed an offence now.
But where's
because
the money for the new car? Where's the plumber going to get his car to go to work the next morning, or even that day? But the
Especially if
next
you
morning.
haven't got any money.
Right? If they haven't got any money, right? And
They
what's
are
he
angry,
gonna do?
but
He has to take the guy to court, and the guy probably doesn't have any money. You see, it doesn't work. The common law was great at the start, and a lot of it is brilliant and valuable still today. But we've evolved out of that. We've evolved out of
no,
like-
we haven't. We haven't evolved. Please stop using the word evolve. We felt
Okay.
complacent. We
Can I-
felt complacent.
I think people should have
again,
driving license
again,
and insurance.
again,
I do feel they should have for the reason I stated. Do you not agree with that?
Can I just
Yeah, you can
point
get
out?
private insurance. You can get private insurance.
No, but on the common
What
law,
the
you don't
insurance
need a driving license and insurance, right? So a lot of people
No.
will say,
You can get insurance. You could probably get some form of insurance,
No, it's
But they don't.
but you don't
Right.
need a
That's the-
license. Well, I know what you're going to turn around and say. What you're going to say? The insurance isn't valid because you don't have a license.
Say again?
Is that where you were going to go with that then?
No, I didn't hear you. Sorry, I was just distracted there for a second. Tell me again what you said. Where was I going to go?
You could have private insurance, yeah, but you don't necessarily have to, be paying tax on a car. You don't necessarily have to be paying out on a license.
Yeah,
I know.
Okay, for starters, you don't pay tax on the car.
but wait, these people who claim common law claim that they don't need a driving license, they don't need insurance because they're not driving a commercial vehicle, they're driving a private vehicle to get from A to B, and the way that the law is
You're
written,
not driving the
a
traveling.
vehicle,
And they're not driving, they're traveling, right?
they're
That's what
traveling,
the
right? But they
argument
don't
is.
need insurance, they don't need a license and all that. You know what I mean? You're driving around your car that you paid your hard-earned money from, and your head's on a swivel.
What do you think? Do you think people like Jordan Maxwell just talk a lot of shit, or did talk a lot of shit?
Can I just explain something? Common law, when it was big, shall we say, for starters, and that's before Oliver Cromwell, right, was aimed at the nobles. It was not aimed at the peasants. Peasants were allowed to travel with a horse and cart or a horse. Other than that, they were allowed to travel by walking. No licenses were required, no insurance was required. There was no taxation on
no
that.
seatbelts.
And that's
no
where it
seatbelts,
came
no
from.
horns, no seatbelts. Seatbelts were an invention, and horns were an invention after so many people
Why
were
do you
getting
need a seatbelt? That's another thing. Why do you need a seatbelt? Why
Well,
should
if
you
you
be
don't,
fined?
if you
Why
if you don't,
should
if
you
you
be fined if you were not wearing a seatbelt? Why?
why? Because
Yeah.
let's put it this way: you've got children, you've got youngsters, right? You've got little ones, smaller, and no pun intended here. I'm not being.
Is that not my freedom of choice, though?
Or is
But
it
the
the
amount
freedom
of
of choice?
people,
Of,
you see,
whoa! Is it the freedom of choice of the child?
I'm not on about a child. I
Nah.
would say, no, hang on, because
You can't have it both
I
ways.
would
You
say that
can't
just
turn
comes.
around and
Well, you
say
can.
you
It just
should
comes
have it
down
and
to
you shouldn't.
common sense. It comes to what I'm saying is,
We don't have common sense.
yeah,
Same way as we
people
don't have
didn't like
common
to wear
law.
a seatbelt. People didn't like to wear a seatbelt, and a lot of people were getting fucking killed. Too many people were getting killed. That's why they came
Do you
in.
know what? Bear, don't take this the wrong way. You're not old enough to remember when we didn't have seatbelts, right? You're not old enough to see the carnage that was caused through people not
I've
wearing
seen carnage
seatbelts.
caused because people were wearing seatbelts. I've seen someone. I know of someone decapitated
One
but
person,
wearing a
two
seatbelt.
people.
But wearing a
They're not-
seatbelt was decapitated.
That's how dangerous.
Because they
being
weren't
a car
wearing the
is.
seatbelt
So,
right.
They
Well,
were
fair-
wearing their seatbelt. This is somebody that was wearing their seatbelt.
But how can you get decapitated by a seatbelt? Because it goes under
Well,
your.
it is,
Mate,
if
do you
the
think I'm
seat-
chatting shit? You think I'm chatting
If-
shit?
No, I don't.
If a seatbelt is placed around a child or a small person, whichever way you want to look
Weren't a
at it,
small person. It was a young. It was a young individual.
will
But
you let me finish just for once, right? And if it's not sitting correctly during an accident, it can, because it's designed to go very rigid to stop you from moving forward. What happens is, because the headrest isn't in the right place, or in some cars there's no headrests, or there weren't at one point, right? It wasn't a requirement, right? The head would bounce and flop around. So what would happen is that the seatbelt would work, it would tension up and stop the body from going forward, but the head continued in the movement. So the head was still traveling, say, 30 miles an hour, for argument's sake, right? Or greater, depending on what speed the driver was going at. And the fact that the head had no restraint, because the seatbelt wasn't fitted properly, wasn't in the wrong position, that will have caused the decapitation. So again, look up what actually happened in the past and the reasons why. Not that, oh, it did this. Yes, that was the end result, but why? I'm sorry, but I mean, I'm from an era where there was no legal requirement to even at one point wear helmets, and the uproar that caused. Oh, freedom of choice. Well, yeah, all right, fair enough. But just think about your head going through a flaming windscreen because you're not wearing anything, and your head's over in the back seat,
And the people in the back seat.
and you're taking somebody else out at the same time. As a result, that's why crash
nice.
cars are now designed.
Stick to my opinion.
But
your opinion is
people
factually
should
correct.
have driving licenses. Do you not think people should train and take a test to see if they can drive a seriously dangerous vehicle? Like, at 40 miles an hour, it's a killing machine. You don't want somebody who doesn't know how to drive even less than that. Yeah.
At 30 miles an hour, it can be seen as a killing machine. At 20, you will get an impact, yes, and you will get injured, but there's less likelihood of you getting killed.
Yeah.
Although I object to the way that it's been, and the reasoning it's been enforced in Wales, which is to promote cleaner air, to reduce everywhere for stupid 20 mile an hour limits from a 60. All of a sudden, and then there's some idiot with a radar gun.
Jesus,
Right.
Susan, give somebody else a chance to speak, Susan, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, Susan, you're making far too
Jeez.
much noise. But no, the point I'm making is children, small people. I don't care if they shit.
Only
What
Joshua, what
they
you
want to
say.
do it.
You've
Well-
turned this more into like about the safety and that, which like I ain't gonna sit here and dispute. Like, do you know what
No,
I mean?
you're saying
Like,
it should
do
be
I
a
think
choice. It
everything
shouldn't be
should
a
be
choice.
turned into another
fair.
way to tax the fucking people? Do I think it should be another way of fucking exploiting the fucking people? No, I fucking don't. You lot might be happy to fucking carry on doing it, but I think it's bullshit, right?
Yeah, but
Like, okay, I get where you're coming. Should somebody have to learn to drive? Yeah, they should. Should they have to spend fucking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds first on learning to be able to drive? Not really, but that's the case these days, right?
right.
Well,
I see
that's
where-
down to the driving instructor and what they charge.
No,
That's
but
not
it,
down
like
to-
like for to back up his point there, like insurance companies, right? You don't crash in a year, but still you have to pay insurance next year. But what about the money that wasn't used in the previous year?
No, I get where you're coming from, right? And I understand. However, unfortunately, every insurance company pays into a slush fund, which pays out less than would be do normally for people who have uninsured accidents or people who are driving who are uninsured, I should say, and things like stolen vehicles, etc. Right? Because when somebody steals a vehicle, they're not insured, right? They do pay out. Now, that slush fund does have to be topped up, right? And unfortunately, those who have no claims, they get their no claims reduced. I mean, there used to be 10 years. It's now dropped down to something like 8 years. So you've automatically lost,
No,
you know?
listen, down the safety route, you're right, mate. But everything else is just
And this
there's
is
more
from
ways of taxing
someone who
people,
doesn't
mate.
hold a driving license, by the
Doesn't
way.
matter. Doesn't matter. Don't try and fucking belittle me like it matters whether
I'm
I've got a
not.
car or
I'm
not. 'Cause
not.
it
I'm just
doesn't. My
pointing
opinion's
something
no
out.
more valid than yours. In fact,
No,
you just
I'm
seem
not. I'm
more
just
happy to fucking
when
argue the
right.
toss for them. That the side of supporting taxing and fucking exploiting money from people. I
No,
don't.
you're
I
missing.
don't.
You're
I don't
missing what I'm
advocate
getting
for
at.
that shit.
No, you're missing what I'm getting at. I
So by
don't
not
think.
owning the car, actually, and not doing all that, I'm less in the system than you are. They've got you by the fucking short and curlies, haven't they?
Right. Okay. Can I
That's
explain
the
something there?
That's what they want of everybody.
Yeah, I'm not disputing or belittling you, Bear. What I'm pointing out is that when I learned to drive, it costs a damn sight less than it'll cost when
Yeah, it
somebody
did.
today,
Agreed.
right?
It did, of course. But that's
Because
not what
the
I'm saying.
cost,
Now we get
because
taxed to the hilt in everything, correct?
and
My uncle taught me how to drive
the
for free.
taxation on a vehicle each year has been played around with. It used to be called the road fund license until the drivers kicked off about the fact that the money wasn't going on the roads. Now it's called excise duty and it goes straight to the government, and they've increased the amount based on so-called pollution levels. Right, and when I'll give you an example, when electric cars first came out, there was no taxation on them. Now there is. That sort of taxation I disagree with, unless it's actually going to wet the roads, and the government are going to take on the responsibility of maintaining the roads properly, rather than leaving it down to the councils to do, who don't get any money from that road fund license or that excise duty.
Them councils are getting
to
too
mend
big
to mend the roads.
That's what they're there for. Yeah.
The councils can't do it. But the government has passed it on to them. So what you're saying, a lot of what you're saying, I agree with. But the actual idea of learning to drive, you need to pay for that. You're paying not to learn to drive, but how to pass a test.
Yeah, I agree with that. They only teach you to pass a test.
You learn
agree
to
with
drive once you're on the road without somebody next to you. That's
But
why
it's
I
like your
can't
car.
teach
You
someone
might
to.
think you own your car, and I mean, I guess you do, but the plates on it, you don't, bro.
Well, I
So
don't own my car.
as long as
I lease it.
the fucking plates that you don't own, owned by the DVA, are on your fucking car,
Hmm.
you're consenting to all their bullshit.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm on about with common law. It's all done on fucking, or a lot of this contractual
Well,
law now. It's all done on consent. And
well,
everyone's too happy to sit back and go, "I consent."
because that's the
Back.
way. That is the way since Oliver Cromwell, since we turned over the rights within Great Britain over to a government which we now supposedly elect, and we come back to this, right? We're supposed to have elected them. They are supposed to be answerable to us as the people. They're not. They're not answerable to anybody these days. They make the laws and we follow like good little puppets. We're their puppets. So I agree totally with a hell of a lot you say, but there has to be some way of maintaining the roads. There has to be some way of ensuring that there are that the barriers that are put up, that people who are speeding, etc., damage, they cause this, that, and the other, of the replacement of that. That's all I'm trying to say, right? And there's no point in turning around and saying common law wins because you have a right to do X, Y, and Z. You might have the right to do it, but you don't have the finances behind you to be able to do it. If you want to drive, you should be able to afford to drive. So if something happens, something will pay out to the person who is injured, and that could be you.
Yeah, and they're going to lock you up no matter what arguments common law has. They're going to lock you up for not having insurance.
There's only 4 things which have not been replaced,
Right.
right?
That's like
under
me
common
saying,
law.
I'm not going to go out with a camera because the police like to fucking get all funny with people with cameras.
No, it's not the same. It's not the same.
Yeah, of course, it's exactly
Can
the
I
same.
agree to
If
disagree
everyone
on
got
that?
complacent and went, "Oh, we best not go
No,
out there because
you're
they're
not
going to
gonna
fucking
film
enforce the
somebody.
camera shit,"
No,
then
you're not going to film somebody and cause them loss because you filmed them. But you can crash into somebody's car and cause them loss.
so that's where
Serious
then
loss.
that's when you've then committed a crime. Up until then, you have not committed no crime. You haven't committed no crime.
you're prepared to take
No
the
crime
gamble?
has been committed here, sir.
So you're prepared to take the gamble on other people's lives?
And livelihoods as well.
Listen.
No,
You know, if
lives.
you've got if
Well,
you've got a driving license, yeah, and you do any of these bad incidents that you've just spoke about there with not having a license, even if you have one, you're still going to jail, people. Yeah, that's right. You're still going to motherfucking jail anyway. Even if you've got a car and it was an accident and you fucking killed somebody, guess what? You're probably going to jail. So
Well, if you kill someone,
have a license, hit
well,
someone, go jail. Don't have a
well, if it
license,
was
hit
an
someone, go
accident,
jail.
if it was
Right.
an accident, no, you wouldn't go to jail. If you had all your paperwork and it was a straight up accident or the other person's fault, you're not going to jail. But if you're in an accident and you don't have insurance and a driving license,
You
then
live
you're
on
going to jail.
fucking, where do you
Even if it
live? Up
was
in the
the other
fucking
person's fault.
stars. You
No,
live up
even
in
if
the
it was-
stars, Fruitoy.
Okay,
No.
can I ask you a question, Bess? Like it's on the same subject, but I just want to move it forward, right? Do you agree that somebody who smokes weed or is under the influence of any drugs that affects their ability to travel in a car?
You've asked
Right.
me 2 questions there. You've asked me, do I
No,
agree
you're
with
not
someone?
letting me
Hang on.
finish,
You've
as
asked
always.
me. Okay, I'll let you finish. Sorry, and then
Thank
I'll tell you because you might be more than 2 questions. Sorry.
No, because it both comes to the same thing, right? Currently, it's illegal to travel under the influence. Doesn't matter whether it's drugs or whether it's alcohol, right?
Yeah.
The only difference is with alcohol, right? There is a minimum limit, right? Sorry, a maximum limit, right? That you can have in your bloodstream of alcohol, right? You are going to the pub. Let's keep it nice and easy for you. You go into the pub, right? You have a couple of you have a pint, you have a glass of wine, and maybe a shot of whiskey, right? Maybe. Okay. You also eat. Your friend who you're with has one glass of beer, 1 pint of beer, right? They're driving, not you, but they're driving. They have an accident. They're over the limit. They shouldn't have gotten that vehicle in the first place
No, they
because they're
shouldn't.
not, because they are incapable of driving safely.
Probably.
Right?
I'd agree.
And
So
if they
drink
kill, and
driving
if they
shouldn't be
kill
allowed.
someone, they will be lucky if they get 7 years. Right? So
Yeah.
the maximum they get was to be
So we
7
can
years.
agree that drink driving's bad.
And driving under the influence doesn't matter. If
I disagree with
I-
that because you said, "Do I agree with people that go under the influence,
under the influence
and
influence-
affected under the influence?" Well,
Yeah.
certain people aren't affected like other people, and actually, some people I know, and I'll take like cannabis for instance, actually are able to focus better smoking the fucking herb than not
reactions-
smoking it.
No,
And
So-
they drive slower anyway.
no, their reaction speed
They
is
drive
slower.
like 5 miles an hour.
So how do you know it's slower? How? How?
Because the reaction speed of anybody who's under the influence is actually slow. It's the way the brain, it works on the brain, right? But the point I'm making,
I'd say I disagree with that.
okay, factually I'm correct, right?
I
So
don't think you are.
no,
It's
go and
probably-
research it, right?
I do.
I
take-
but
I
I
take-
reckon on the basis that I probably have researched this, I believe that you're incorrect.
Okay. Well, what about people who take prescription drugs?
Anything that hinders your ability to operate heavy machinery, and a vehicle falls under heavy machinery.
The law was changed to include prescription drugs. Now, although it's perfectly legal if you are under the influence, if you are found to be to have caused the accident, to be driving without due care of attention, you will still get done for it because you're driving without due care of attention. And that is the same if you were under the influence of any non-prescription drug. It's not that you're driving under the influence, it's the fact that you are driving without due care and attention. You are putting others at risk. Speeding, you are putting other people at risk.
Yes, I don't speed.
A speed limit is a limit, it's not a target. Driving to conditions
Target, that's a good one. I like that one.
is right? Driving to the conditions of the road conditions is more important than achieving or going over a speed limit. You see where I'm coming from there? As a driver, right, I've never had an accident that was my fault. In all the years I have driven.
It was the drugs' fault.
No, I've never had an accident that's my fault.
I'll stick to, bro. No crime has been
And I've
committed.
never ever had a speeding ticket either.
Well, yeah, driving without insurance and a driving license is a crime. But
Yeah.
that's a crime.
It's an act, right, or a legislation.
Well, all right,
And there's
let's hear
nothing
it
wrong
out.
with that. And that's
Nothing
the
wrong
problem.
with it. There's nothing wrong with acts and legislations. Only that this country brings on average about 24, around 20 to 24 new bits of legislation, right, or acts every year. And let me to date, the last time I checked, right, there was no bit of legislation being brought in where you were claiming any of your fucking rights back. They're all taking more away from you. 20 to 24 on average a year. I mean, how many of those we actually end up finding out about? I don't know, because I don't think we hear about 24 new bits of legislation every year. But
The problem I have with the law isn't the law so much; it's the fact that we don't have a standardization. If you do this and it causes this, you go to jail. For
Yeah.
X. That's where I have the problem. There's no consistency. Right?
yeah, there is. When
Whatsoever.
you commit a crime, you get done for it.
But
When
there's
you're
no
out
consistency
smoking,
in
when you're out
penalty.
smoking a little bit of pot, right? You shouldn't be fucking getting slammed into prison for fucking a victimless crime. This is sorry. until a crime
I'm
has
not
been committed or
talking
someone has come to harm, that has
Yeah,
not
we can
happened.
agree with that. We can agree, and nobody's saying you're wrong about the government just fucking mugging us every chance they get. Nobody's. I'm not definitely agree with you on that. 100%.
I haven't disagreed with anything you said, other
No,
than
and I'm not
what I've
disagreeing with you.
explained.
You are right in what you're saying about, you are right. You are right as well. But it doesn't. They've used things like I said, like we've all seen before. Yeah, the government, what they do a lot of time, create problems, sit back, watch it for a period of time, and then come back to you with a solution. And you're all like, "Hey, the government, they give us well, we're all saved." And in doing that, they bring all this bullshit in that where it's yes for the safety, it's for this, it's for that. It's not. It's not. It's about lining in their pockets more and taking more from us.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody can disagree with that. I don't think.
I listen. If common law, if you were to put common law in exactly the same situation as it is
Problem,
now,
reaction, solution. That is what I was looking for. Thank you, Carl.
can you put that? Can you put that comment back up? Oh, I'll do
Sorry.
it.
Sorry, did I take something down?
No, I was reading this from Anakin. Right. Common law. If you were to take the theory behind common law and to actually put it into practice, and you were to have where there is a victim, a standard of punishment for everybody. So if you committed theft, let's say, talk about the extreme, you had one hand cut off, and that was the same for everybody, right? You would eliminate theft, theoretically, right? Because nobody would want to walk around with a hand chopped off.
Unless
it
you're
works in
good at
certain
your feet.
countries, right? But if you were to take, for argument's sake, not paying the BBC their license fee, I think that's wrong, right? Because I think there's an alternative. You can pay for it. I mean, I disagree with being ripped off from that point of view.
The
That's
BBC
one law,
would
which
love
is
that.
they can't even say it. It shouldn't be allowed. It should be stripped. It should be repealed, right? Because I don't see why you should pay for something that you don't want that's forced on you, right? At the end of the day. But driving, there needs to be. So I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. I
Here's
didn't
a
see the
question for you, Grim. Grim, I'll ask again. He did ask before, but I forgot to highlight it. Is Charles your king? Let's ask that question. Is Charles your king?
Answer, then read on. No.
Why not?
He's not, no?
But he was
If
put
not,
in.
why do you give your sovereignty to him when you can claim it back?
You can't claim it back legally.
You can.
You can't.
100% you can.
No, you can't, because you still have to pay tax.
You still have to abide by all the rules and laws.
You pay tax on everything. That's where I'm coming from. So you can't. No problem, Susan. Thanks for being part of the panel. You still pay tax on everything. Media tax is coming to replace the TV license. It's still a tax.
So Outlaw says murder is still tried in court under common law today, not an act or statute.
Yes, because it's not been replaced, because it's in place already. There's no room for improvement.
Yeah, Outlaw, please come on the panel for a minute, man. Even if it's just for a minute.
I don't think you want
even if it's just to put your point across, bro. Come on for a minute.
Hang on a second. I'm 99% certain that this is Blackwatch, but I'm going to be certain.
Please, because I'm fucking.
Hang on a second. Blackwatch, you there?
Yep, it's me.
I just wanted to check.
It is
What's up,
I.
Blackwatch?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Blackwatch.
I've got an opinion if you want to hear it on this.
Yes, please.
Thing.
Of course.
First of all, in Ontario here, they cut the permit cost, $120 a month. But on the other hand, I went to cancel insurance, and they didn't tell me that if you don't cancel by your renew date, you have to pay a penalty. of $250. But that being said, when I took the license, I got chauffeurs. You know, a license is very important to me. But the gentleman spoke of it's a privilege. It's not a right. And you talked about seatbelt.
Mhm.
I grew up, no radio, no seatbelt. No, I went through what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But that being said, I grew up in the 60s, okay?
Yep.
Teenager. I'll put it this way. This is my opinion. Marijuana, the benefits of it, medically, okay. But those who want to smoke recreationally, and they think they can get into a car and drive with my family on the road, are out of their minds. That's my personal view on it. I mean, this whole loss of rights, it's a privilege. It's not a right. You know, taking rights away, it's not a privilege.
Well, you see, Blackwatch, what the people are, what some people are saying, right, is that under common law, you can travel from A to B, right, and traveling and under law, right, when you travel in a vehicle which is legally known as a commercial vehicle, right, you do have to have insurance and the driving license and all that. So they're saying because we're not traveling in a commercial vehicle, we're just traveling and we have the right to travel from A to B, we should be able to do that without all the paperwork. But I agree 100% with you. If my kid's out there on the road, I don't want some person without being trained to drive a car, without a driving license, without insurance, putting my child's life at risk. Or high or drunk or whatever. I totally agree with you, Blackwatch.
But you have to get the concept. You're driving a loaded weapon.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
That's the whole point.
As I remember,
get a bicycle.
I
recall, travel from A to B.
Yeah. Everybody has a personal story, but I remember I wanted a bike. I wanted it more than anything.
Do you mean a motorbike? Motorcycle.
Yeah. And just shortly before my 16th birthday, because I was driving 10-ton trucks when I was 14 on my godfather's rather large, lot service station. He came to me and he says, if I let you get a bike, your mother will kill me. The point is, I saw kids launched over cars with their head going through a windshield. I saw a girl, or heard of, and it was true. The guy didn't even know she was taken off the back seat by the lugs of a dump truck wheels and crushed under it. They're loaded weapons. And granted, most vehicle drivers, they cause the problems with the motorcycles. I've seen some weird stuff. But the whole concept of it being a right is nonsense. Yeah. And the whole concept of this, look, I've seen the worst. I've seen a drug dealer willing to shoot up a 12-year-old with heroin. And I told him where to go and walked away. I wasn't going to save the 12-year-old, but I wasn't going to be part of it. This acceptance of drug use today just turns my stomach. Turns my stomach. But
come on, man. You said you were around in the 60s. They weren't much different then. Well, not many felt like it was.
No, stoned is stoned. Okay. This is only me. I mean, it's a slippery slope.
I agree
and
with
I think there's only such a problem with drugs because it's also illegal. Take away decriminalize drugs. And
I don't care what you do, just don't jeopardize me and mine. That's my point.
I think every time you go out on the road, right, you don't know whether it doesn't matter about their age. You don't know what influence they're under, right? The whole point of being told you have to wear a crash helmet on a bike was to protect your head as it scraped along the floor while you were if you happened to be in an accident and you fell you fell from the bike and you were still traveling at 30 miles an hour with your head going along the floor. It's a safety barrier.
Same with seatbelts. Yeah.
The same with seatbelts. The reason why seatbelts was brought in was so that it would reduce the number of deaths caused by people going through windscreens,
Yeah.
people in the back seat headbutting the person in front and killing the person in front.
Yeah.
As the vehicle came to a sudden stop due to an accident, whether that accident was caused by the driver or not, or by somebody else. This is where the issue is. So if you had two vehicles that hit each other at 30 miles an hour, right, that's a 60-mile-an-hour collision. You are still going to go straight through.
Hey, Outlaw.
Oh, man.
How's it going, Outlaw?
What's happening?
Just before you get into that, UK transparency, that's a brilliant question. That is worth talking about, I think. Amiki Television, yes, it does. Yes, it does. A licensed driver safer than somebody who didn't bother getting themselves a license? I think yes. I think it does make them safer.
No,
What's a
I
licensed
disagree.
driver,
Okay.
though?
I'd like to
Outlaw, let's hear from you, Brian.
What's classed as a licensed driver? Because there's a
Somebody-
definition, there's a difference in Black's Law, which all the driving acts and statutes are based on, Book 4. There's an actual definition between driver and traveller.
Right. That's what
A
I'm saying.
driver is someone that's doing it on a commercial contract.
Right. Yeah. According to Black's Law, and that's why people say
And
they
that's
don't
what
need.
But Black's Law, Book 4, is what the driving acts and statutes are based on.
Yeah. Can I just point out, though, that you do have the right to travel. You have the right to walk.
Yeah. No, but you
Well, don't need a vehicle.
you also have the right to travel at any private property.
Yes, private property, not public.
No, but your car, but you can't describe it as a car, as your private property because you bought it, you have the receipt. You've leased your car, so you've actually entered into a
Okay,
commercial.
so here's a
But
question
see
for
how-
you.
wait now, if you
Yeah, no,
rent
no.
or, if you
I-
rent or lease a car, that's you enter into a commercial contract.
Right. Can I ask you a question, Outlaw?
Yeah.
Why is it that nobody who's used that in an English court or a Great Britain court of law
Well, you
has
can't.
ever,
It happens in Scotland all the time.
I'm talking about in an English court of law or Welsh or Northern Ireland.
But it does.
I don't know
does.
about Scottish law.
It
Right.
does. You need to know the difference. Common
But
law
it's-
is still practiced today.
Please let
in
me
England,
finish.
in Wales, and Northern Ireland. It's still
It's
practiced
never,
today.
nobody's ever walked away from court with a win using common law rights.
That's false.
No, it's fact.
It's false. Why do you think? Why do you think SG has went and took back his sovereignty? SG's done it, and to say you'll never be free for it because of tax, that's a lie. Because I know at least 15 people that don't pay tax, but
But
they
you
have,
don't pay
they have-
VAT.
and they no listen, and obviously you have to pay VAT because it's already on a product. You can't intervene in a third party's commercial contract.
What about fuel?
That's a third party's commercial contract.
What about a job?
But then again, fuel is fuel because red diesel isn't taxed.
But red diesel to use in a non-commercial vehicle.
No,
Of
red diesel
private-
is only classed as illegal on public roads, right? So the M6 toll is not a public road.
So you can go up and down that because you're paying it. But to get to it, you've got to go on a public road.
But no every
So-
road's like that.
So SG
what I'm
is
saying
using
is-
the road
what
you're
I'm
paying
saying-
for, Outlaw.
Wait. Because I've been writing in the chat for ages and you guys have just been ignoring it all.
You're right. You're
No,
right.
no, I apologise for that because I've not had a chance to.
But what I'm saying is there is exceptions to the rule. So if there's exceptions to the rule that are legal, what's to make it the exception not rule? It's yous giving away your sovereignty, not knowing your actual rights.
Have you given up your sovereignty?
I've claimed my sovereignty back. I'm a registered Scottish sovereign.
Right. Okay.
But our sovereignty has been protected since 1308 under the Declaration of Arbroath.
but consider this.
England has tried so many times to take it away from us, but they can't because it's protected. It was signed
No,
by our lords and
that's
ladies
fine.
and their kings.
Yes. Yes.
So Outlaw, what happens
And
if
and that's why I asked you, if Charles is not your king, why don't you claim your sovereignty back?
Because I don't recognise him as my king. Because
Well, you can claim your sovereignty back. And then you went on to say about tax. Now, if you look how tax works, and going by the Oxford Dictionary and look up slavery and read the definition of slavery, it's the exact same as someone profiting off the back of your labour.
Mhm.
The Inland Revenue is a chain on you. It's a chain. And what's Inland Revenue? Inland Revenue is a German company that its headquarters are based in a fucking British tax haven.
You mean the people who operate it
Yeah.
on behalf of the government?
Yeah, it's a German company.
Yeah, it goes out to tender.
So, right, I know at least 15 people that have done this. They've wrote to them.
Okay, so here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Right. If we don't pay into, whether it be the Scottish government or whether it be into the English and Welsh government, the Northern Ireland government, right, etc., because let's face
Right.
it, devolution's all over the place, although it's
yeah.
not official,
Mhm.
right? Who pays for the public services such as the health service?
Well,
Or do you agree with the American
truthful
version that
honest,
you pay for it?
wait. To be truthfully honest, let's look at it. NHS Scotland. I don't know if Northern Ireland have their own registered NHS, like if it's NHS Northern Ireland.
Yeah,
they are
they do.
all privately registered companies.
Yes, I know they are. They are now.
They are not government companies.
But they are funded by government money.
To a certain extent.
But they're still governed. They're still
Why do
given.
you think? Why do you think that multi-millionaires and your top 100 companies all have their own registered charities? Well, wait now, because they give the money they should be paying to tax to these charities so they can keep a hold of their money.
Right. No, but you're missing what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is the fact that at the end of the day, if people do not pay tax or don't pay into these services, right, which is free to everybody from when they are born and don't pay tax, right?
All right, I'm listening.
If people don't pay into that on a regular basis, right, for those services to be provided free of charge, that means that we will end up in a situation which the Americans and most other countries which don't have a free medical service, right, to the extent that we have, right, it will cost a fortune. The way that the NHS in England works is that for CT scans goes out to tender.
Yeah.
At the moment, there's a company called Alliance that has that tender.
Alliance is like a collaboration between loads of private companies, including Bupa and stuff like that.
Yes, but it's a
I know,
private
because I've got
company.
life insurance with them.
Yeah, it's a private company, right? They provide the service under contract, right? The NHS tell them what the service has to be and what they have to put into the hospitals for people
do they?
to be
But
able
wait a
to
minute,
use free of charge.
I get
There is
that,
no
but-
charge to them. So if people aren't prepared to put the money in, how can that bill be paid without a checkout as you go through the other side?
I get that. I get what you're saying, but let's be serious about it, Graham. There's
No, answer the question.
There's four other people on the panel, right? You all pay tax, right? How much of your tax do you think actually goes to what you think it goes to? How much do you think? Look at 15 years ago.
No, you're not asking. You're not answering the question. The question is, if you haven't got it, how do you expect for that service to be
But
paid?
what I'm saying is, what I'm going to get at is, if your money isn't going where you think it's gone, where's it gone to? Now, if it was gone to the right places, right? Things like NHS in England, NHS Scotland, and the equivalent in Northern Ireland,
Yeah.
the equivalent in Northern Ireland would be profitable, and to the point where we wouldn't have bed shortages, we wouldn't have
Nurses shortages, doctor shortages. I agree, but that's not what the
This is
question
what I'm saying.
was.
This is what I'm saying.
But,
The public
but you've
the
still
public
not answered the question.
with respect to
There's
what
no clear answer. There isn't no clear answer, right?
There is. You have a checkout the other side. You have insurance. Oh, no insurance. I'm sorry. We're going to sue you for it.
Aye,
We're
but
going to take your house away.
let's be serious. The NHS has already gone the way that America's
No,
gone.
it hasn't. It's
It's-
not gone all
it's
of that way. It's
Not
gone
all
down
the
the
way
route.
yet. Not all the way yet. It
Thank
is
you.
going that way. It is
It
going that
might
way.
do. It might
Whether
do.
we like it or not, it is.
But
it is
hopefully
going.
not in my lifetime.
Hopefully,
And hopefully not in my
Graham,
grandchild's
Graham,
lifetime.
I'll have my fingers crossed. Hopefully, never in my grandchildren's life.
But what I'm
That is
stating
that is a
that
hope. And
this
I'm
is-
not saying
this is-
wait a minute. I'm not saying that I didn't pay into the tax system because I'm a registered company. I've agreed to that. Right? As much as I didn't want to pay it because tax on a commercial company is fucking extortionate. You know what I mean?
Do your employees, if you have employees, do they pay? Do they get taxes to go PAYE? Do you collect that money and send it to the government?
I have to because I've signed into that contract. But wait a minute. But if I had an employee that says, "Look, I want to pay my own tax," I can write a separate contract for them.
So you would put them on a 0-hour contract or on a contract where
Yeah.
you would pay them in
You're a
full.
freelance, self-employed fucking entity.
Yeah. So in other words, you're still entering into a contract with them. It's just that you are no longer taking on
Aye, I avoid the responsibility.
Yes,
But
which is a loophole.
But at the same time, I would also avoid for the responsibility of paying into the pension.
But that
Yeah.
person's not an employee; they're a contractor. Then
Yes.
But every employee is a contractor. You've no security.
Well,
you've no
can I
security.
agree to disagree?
Well, you've got about the same amount of rights as
All right.
self-employed,
somebody-
a self-employed guy. If a
okay,
company-
I
say
can't,
you've got-
I can't put this from a Scottish point of view because, as I say, I don't know Scottish law.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
And
completely different.
Scottish law has different areas, but
Well, but really,
let me put it this way:
Because the
when
basis of
somebody has
Scottish
been
law-
employed, when you've employed someone for 2 years or more, if you're operating within England, I'll say for definite, right?
Mhm.
They have protection, which means you can't sack them for nothing, for no reason. It used to be 12
But if you
months.
dissolve your company, what rights do they have? None.
Oh, you're missing what I'm getting at. Again, you're talking loopholes.
But of course, I'm talking loopholes because all these companies and everything play the loopholes. That's their game.
But they don't shut down a company on the basis
How do they know?
that one person
I'll
or
give you
two people or just as a collective of people are taking them through an employment tribunal for wrongful dismissal. What they do is that they settle out of court and they are issued with a non-disclosure agreement which they must sign.
Again, you just described a loophole, though.
Yes,
is a
I
loophole.
didn't. I
Like I
didn't
say,
say,
they
but
all
they're
play
right.
loopholes.
They're
I'll give you an
right.
example. I'll give you an example, right? Why the biggest companies in Britain was Rolls Royce.
Used
They
to be.
took
Didn't solve
furlough. They took furlough the whole way through lockdown.
But
furlough
Rolls
stopped
Royce
them. They went
isn't a British
bankrupt.
owned company anymore, by the way.
Aye, because what they done during lockdown. They
Come
just
on,
But
put
let's
it
go
on-
back.
it was sold before lockdown. It became a French company many years ago.
Aye, but look what they done. But look what they done. All their employees thought they had security and my company's looking after me until the government says, "Well, we're not going to support you anymore." Oh, bye employees, because that's going to cost us money. I'm not saying there's a clear-cut answer. I'm just saying it is not as clear and straight-lined as the government make it out. So
I
I'll
agree
give
with
you-
you.
I'll give you
I
an
agree.
example.
No, no.
That's definite. But
Wait a
do
minute,
you agree
here's
with
an example.
insurance, Outlaw? Do you agree with having insurance on a car, on your personal car?
Of course. But
Do you
again,
agree
that's,
it should-
again, that's common law. If I crashed into somebody and I caused you a loss in any form, I am responsible for that. So then I need to have things in play, like insurance,
Right.
to cover that.
So do you feel it shouldn't be mandatory, or do you feel it should be mandatory?
I think we should have something more like how France have it. Do you know how France insurance works in a car?
I have no idea.
So in France, you insure the car. Anybody with a legal driving license can use your car and it has its insurance.
Yeah,
Whereas in Britain, every
you
driver
have-
for every vehicle has to have insurance. We're
Yes.
conned. We are conned.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, you can't take that option out here
You-
because you can insure a vehicle for any driver. And that's as long as they have a driving license and they meet the
But
criteria.
again, you've got to pay more for that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There we
Yeah,
are.
a lot more.
But usually that if you're paying for insurance for any driver, it's more along the lines, most people do it on a commercial basis.
I know
So like
people
a trade
who,
insurance.
well, if you've got fully comp insurance, you can drive somebody else's vehicle with their permission and you would be covered for third party only insurance.
Aye, but the other person also has to have insurance that allows them to do that as well. Because it's
Isn't-
not, because it used to be just that the original car has to have insurance as a full
Isn't Scottish law though different from English law though? Isn't it?
Yes.
Is this a thing, Outlaw, where
Yeah.
if somebody comes up to your house, knocks on the door, and says, "I need to use your toilet," you have to let them in under law?
So, to be truthful honest, it's a gimmick law because that law goes back to when everybody had toilets outside rather than in their house.
So it's a law which shouldn't be applied, but it's never been repealed.
Yeah,
It's a bit like
Oh, what do they do?
Hackney carriage. That there's two things they have to do.
but
One
let's
carrier-
be serious. If somebody came to your door and they are bursting, and you can see they're fucking bursting for a pee, you're not going to let them lose their dignity with pissing themselves on your doorstep, are you? You're
No,
human.
It'd
You're
be a
human.
twat to clean it up.
But it's still legal to pee in the street as long as you declare 3 times that you're going to pee.
Depending on where you are, not in the UK. Not
You have
over
to,
here.
you have to
Yeah,
say,
well,
you have to
actually,
say it
in
loud enough so
Britain-
anybody within a certain distance can hear you that you've
But-
got to pee.
But just say
That's
you
not-
live
I
beside
was
the
about
beach.
to say here, you are in in England. Actually, it's somewhere written in some old law that men can fucking piss in any free flowing water,
Yeah, in a river.
river, anything that's free flowing. They've got a code,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
But
what,
what I'm saying is,
what I was trying to say was that a hackney carriage in England has, by law, because these two pieces of legislation have never ever been repealed, and it dates back to horse and cart days, right? They have to carry a bale of hay for the horse at all times, and they also have to check the pulse of every single person that gets into that hackney carriage. Legal requirements.
can I ask you a question, right? Like Food Toys just brought up about the peeing, and you've brought about the hackney carriage. These are acts and statutes that are so outdated that they're irrelevant.
But they're still on
or
statute
they
book.
don't make sense in today's world, right?
It
Yeah,
does.
but they're still
But-
in Black's law.
Exactly, they're still in Black's law, right? And Black's law will never really get changed, ever. I'll just keep getting updated and updated and updated and updated to the point where there's so much that you would need fucking 20 museums to fucking hold all the books, right? Right.
Yeah,
But
see
the-
what.
So
it's
how
not
many?
that
Wait a minute,
people
wait a minute.
get-
What I was getting at is how many is on panel actually know what common law is?
I know common law doesn't.
Nah,
actually work
I'm not going to
because-
pretend to know what it
Right.
is.
So common law is to cause no death, no harm or loss.
Yeah. Of course.
Right? To not commit fraud. They are the 3 points of common law, and there's also a sub law, which is breach of the peace. Now, breach of the peace in Scotland has got fucking loads of things under breach of peace within the new acts and statutes. But under common law, it only means that you can be asked to remove from the situation that is causing the breach. You can't be physically handcuffed because that is causing harm.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
But
That's
if
the
it's so,
idea.
It's assault,
if you,
right?
if wait now. So a lot of people say when they talk about common law, like, oh, what? So if somebody gets raped, that's causing fucking harm and loss.
Yes. Yes.
You,
No,
you can apply any crime to common law, and it fits within that criteria. 3 laws and breach of the peace.
But common law comes from the Magna Carta, allegedly, right?
Well,
I'm saying
I
allegedly
actually
because it's
believe that
questionable.
common law was inserted into the Magna Carta and it already exists. It
But
already
the
exists.
thing is, what I was
From
going
the
to say
Roman,
is,
right? It all evolved from the Romans. From the
Well,
Roman.
no, really, because common law was
No,
here in Scotland,
before
and the
then.
Romans were never here in Scotland.
It was there in Saxon time. What I was going to say was that apart from that, there's 4 areas in England, and off the top of my head, I can't remember which they are. But there are 4 areas that have never been changed through acts and statutes, and they are murder is one of them. And they are tried under common law. Everything else is tried under acts and statutes,
Acts of
legalese.
consent, though, acts of consent, and you only give consent when you sign away your sovereignty.
Which you have done now. I don't know about Scotland, but in England,
Scotland,
the only
Sorry.
time you can claim your sovereignty back initially, right, is at the age of 7.
I thought you're-
Untrue. Someone was on my panel from the UK, only going back a little bit before Christmas, and he sat there and told us about how he fucking done it when he was about 19, 20.
No, I'm talking about from a legal perspective under legalese.
Don't your
Right.
parents sign sign your sovereignty away with your birth certificate? Isn't that
Yeah,
something?
your
But
your
no one can sign the contract on your behalf. It's
Your
illegal to
parents
sign a
can, if you're-
contract.
if you're
That's
a
fraud.
child.
That's fraud.
Well, if
No,
you're a
you-
child, your parents have,
Because you give no consent to that contract.
but you can't as a baby, right? You can't give.
But it doesn't matter. That's like saying, I'm going to buy a house, but I'm going to get my great granddad to fucking sign the paperwork.
You see, I think they
It's
get
illegal.
around that. They
It's
get around
illegal.
that by saying that we are property of the state.
But it's illegal.
I think. Hang on.
Doesn't
Annika
stop
said.
them, being illegal, that never stopped the government doing anything.
Right. Okay. So, what Annika is saying is common law goes back to Scottish law. Yes, to a certain extent. I would say that it goes back to literally the common man, or supposedly. However, the problem with the common man is that was that meant that you were actually higher than a peasant.
See the thing about common law in Scotland, it's protected under what's called the Declaration of Arbroath 1308, right?
Mhm.
And the Declaration of Arbroath was everything like it was all lords and lairds.
Yes.
I say lords and lairds because lairds are the Scottish version of a lord. It's just
Yes.
easier for you to understand lord.
Yeah.
Right. And
You can be a lord just by buying a piece of land.
and our
in
king
Scotland.
at the time signed this, right? And then it was sent away to the Pope in Rome because the Pope in Rome covered all the churches through the whole of Britain,
At that time.
right? Then the Pope agreed to this, then sent a letter onto the English royals, and then the English royals agreed to this because the Pope had decreed it.
Yes.
So a lot of people looking at the Declaration of Arbroath like, oh, it's just a letter. It's a letter that went through the process and it got agreed to by all parties involved
At the time. Yes.
at the time.
I
But
totally agree.
in that, it states that the Declaration of Arbroath lasts for all time, as long as
Can I ask a
as
silly
long as there are
question?
still sovereigns in
Yeah.
Scotland.
I just want to ask a question. Is Scotland classed as a Catholic state or country?
It kind of is.
There's a reason why I'm asking.
But let's be serious. Britain isn't a Catholic country.
No, this is what I'm going
Originally,
to get to.
we were pagans and druids.
Yes.
We are not
And
Catholics. And
yeah,
that's why I kind of get pissed off when people talk about Muslims and that. Like, Britain's been through so many fucking different religions over its
The
past.
reason why I'm asking is that it was an English king that decreed they were basically they wanted their own religion because they couldn't divorce.
Henry VIII.
Yes, and when that came into effect, we officially the English became a Protestant country, not a Catholic country,
Yeah.
a Protestant, and since then we've always remained the same, right? From a not constitution, from a king's point of view, law of the land. Right? Now,
See, the thing is, I kind of believe
this is this is the problem which I have with common law, because I agree with what you're saying, that at the time everything went through, and it went through Rome, etc.
Yep.
It's never gone through since we became a Protestant country.
Nope.
And that's why common law within England and Wales does not exist. There's no
Yes and
legal.
no. Like I say, it kind of goes back to sovereignty, and you can claim it back. I don't know exactly how you do it in England, right? I know SG has done it.
Yeah, I'm not saying you can't
But
do it. But
There is a clause.
contract.
There is
Yeah,
a
go on.
clause where you cannot claim back your sovereignty, and that's if you're a dependent on the state. So there is also loopholes to prevent you getting that far. But these loopholes are only implied after these acts and statutes and the Magna Carta and everything kind of come into play.
Yeah, I mean, what happens? Okay, it's right. Joe Bloggs, just pick on him. He's always a good one to pick on, right? He claims back his sovereignty, right? And then he turns 65, 70, 80, whatever, yeah? And he's run out of money. Does he then have to claim money from the state? He would have to give back his sovereignty then.
But again, that's a tricky one, because if Joe
See where I'm coming from?
Joe Bloggs had paid into the state his whole working days, he's entitled to it, because he gave the money to provide for the government to then provide these services back.
Yeah, but he's disillusioned himself from it. He's removed himself from that, therefore he doesn't have the right to claim
Well, he
it.
should have then insured his own future.
See where I'm coming from?
But that's what I'm saying.
Privatisation.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even
It's
like,
privatisation through the back door.
but
On that point of view,
But at the same time, privatisation still works within the NHS. Like, the NHS subcontract for kind of operations
Yes.
and everything out to Bupa.
but
So-
who pays for it? The tax.
Well, the
The
person
tax.
pays for it. If you go for a selective surgery through the NHS and go to Bupa, you still have to raise the money. The NHS
If you-
doesn't pay for it.
No, if you go through Bupa, you're going through their insurance. You're paying
No,
for
but
it.
if you go through the NHS and they refer you on to Bupa,
You
you still
agree
have to
to
pay
it.
for it.
You agree to it. Otherwise,
Mhm.
you have to wait.
Yeah.
Right
That's
now,
what I'm saying. Like,
this
say
comes back.
I
This
think I've
comes
done the
back
research
to
on a boob job, right?
Mm.
If you go to the NHS for a boob job and they refer you on to Bupa, I think it's like £3,500 you have to pay.
yeah. If it's classed as cosmetic, if it's medical
Like-
reasons,
Well, medical reasons, a gastric band can be classed as medical reasons, and that's something like £8,500 you have to raise.
yeah. But what
So-
I'm getting, yeah. But see where I'm
so-
coming.
The NHS isn't exactly. That's what I'm saying. It is pushing so far to be a private company that if you're no actual researching into it, you don't understand how much it's going
What
at.
they're doing is they are looking at reducing the quality and the reasons to be able to use the NHS. The original reason for the NHS came about after the Second World War, because it was a Labour government, I think, off the top of my head. I could be wrong. It could have been a Liberal government at the time, but they guaranteed free healthcare
And
for
a lot of that
everybody.
was to do with children, though.
No, it was to do with free healthcare for everybody, because prior to that, you had to pay whatever the charges were to the doctor.
Yeah, but what I'm
Right.
saying is a lot of that played into using children as the catalyst for the change.
Yes, yes.
Like
And since
Dunblane, like there'd been loads of shootings in streets and everything in London and Edinburgh and Glasgow and Birmingham and everything before that. But when Dunblane happened, they used the children to change the gun laws.
yes,
You know what I mean? Like there's always a catalyst to make
Oh.
changes, and it's
Yeah.
usually women and children.
yes, yes, I agree. But what I'm trying to get at is that we are offered within the UK basic medical care free of charge. That still has to be paid for. That is
Well,
what's paid
but
for
we're not
through
getting it, though.
theoretically.
But we're not getting
Hang
it.
on. Theoretically, it's paid for through income tax or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, at one time it was called the healthcare tax, right? Stroke national insurance. National
What?
insurance was changed to pay then for your pension. Now the government have moved the the goalposts because there isn't enough money coming in to pay for the pensions
Well,
because
is
of the
there, or is
baby
there not?
boom in the
We keep funding
60s.
but we keep funding wars in other fucking countries.
Yeah. I'm talking about the money
So the money
which
is there,
coming in.
but
No,
it's not getting it's not getting
no.
designated to the right places.
No, the money which is paid through your national insurance stamp, right, is the money which was you would get back when you retired.
Yep.
Now that pot is permanently ring fenced. It cannot be changed, right?
But it's privately invested as well.
And the way that a lot of investments have gone skew with as well. Right?
Of course it has.
But that money was meant to cover people's retirement due to the baby boom in 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Yeah.
Right. And the fact that people are now living longer, there isn't enough money in that pot. So the government changed it so that companies had to pay a minimum amount in twice as much as what the employee paid in, but that is designed for 30 years from now. For those that were in the time were in either the teens or early 20s. Once you've got past 25, you were never going to get enough money in that private pot.
Yeah, but even look at the guy who used to own British Home Stores, who's a private. He had the pension fucking fund. And he lost it all.
Gordon Maxwell, was it?
Aye.
He allegedly committed suicide as a result because the Mirror Group.
But then look at all these people that paid into a system that failed them, and that was the government that set that system up.
Yeah.
Now, what was going to get it earlier about tax, right? If you say to the general public, we're going to use our tax.
I'll be back. I've just got to take the dog out.
Right, if we say to the general public, we're going to make sure your tax pays for NHS, it pays for a police force that works for the people, it pays for prisons to actually reform prisoners, it pays for our armies, our air forces and our navies to protect our own borders rather than funding wars in other countries. I would say 99% of the whole of the UK, doesn't matter what the 4 nations you're in, would be like, I'd be quite happily to pay extra tax. But it doesn't. It doesn't. We pay tax and we get a lower quality of life. Full stop.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Full stop. We've got an NHS. NHS. I remember my gran telling me about the matrons and everything, and the NHS was praised throughout all of her generation. Most of my mum's generation until that stopped and they brought in management systems. And the NHS has just slowly declined the whole time since.
Yeah, it's not just the NHS, like it's over here as well, and in America as well. Like
even new hospitals and schools, right? They build a new hospital. They build a new hospital in a school, and they say, right, we need it for this amount of people because this amount of people that live in this area. Why do they not say, well, come back, we'll look at how many people are going to live here in 20 years' time, at the point where a hospital and a school might need renewed, and we have to be able to compete to that capacity. There would never be shortages of beds. There would never be people waiting 4 hours on an ambulance, then get into A&E and waiting another 8 hours. So that's 12 hours combined you have to fucking wait to see a doctor.
Yeah, no, the government are crap at that. They really are, because over here, every single summer, we have water cuts because there's water shortages. But that's every single year. So they should know, make the reservoirs bigger or build some more reservoirs. They know already it's going to happen, you know?
Yeah.
But they're just crap at that. Sorry, just a off-topic question for a second. What temperature is it for you guys? Over here,
it's been quite mild today.
Over here is 11 degrees. 11.
Unnatural for February, yeah.
11 degrees at night. That's crazy.
But what
the heating off and everything.
But what I was trying to get at when I was in the chat is it's not as clear cut as everybody makes it to be. And I think there was a wee bit of an attack on Bear when Bear was actually hitting on a lot of home truths.
Do you not think people's lost sight of the fact the healthcare system is a business? It is.
It is. And it needs to be profitable. Like, I look at, see, like, Blackwatch, where are you? You sound like you're in Canada.
Ontario, province of Ontario.
So, obviously, your name Black Watch. So I'm guessing you've got ties to Scotland.
Yeah, back.
Well, you'll know how many medical innovations have come from Scotland.
Oh yeah.
Does
Yeah.
Scotland get the benefit of these inventions and these discoveries? Do we? Fuck. Does NHS Scotland, who do these researches, do our universities who do these researches get the benefit of these? Do we?
Like
Fuck.
any of them, do you think that these medical advances should be copywritten or trademarked, and it should be only within the country that develops it?
I think they should be patented and trademarked, and then I think there should also be an agreement where they say, well, like, I'll give you an example, like insulin in America, right? Insulin costs £300 a vial in most states
crazy.
in America. It costs $10 to make.
Yeah.
And the guy who discovered insulin gave the patent away for free.
I agree, because
So
you
there
know
was no research and development into that.
You
And
know
they
how
are
many-
profiting through the nose, like to the point where the doctors and the medical board in America, it used to be first do no harm. That is not a part of their Hippocratic oath anymore.
No, but you know how many Americans cloud into buses and come up to Canada to buy their drugs?
Because they can't afford that, they would die otherwise.
Absolutely, and we can't afford it here anymore either.
But that's what I'm saying. There has to be a world. When it comes to that, we've got the World Health Organization. Well, what the fuck are they doing but try to make profit for themselves? They're not a World Health Organization. They're an organization.
No, I agree. The whole pharmaceutical industry needs to be revamped and looked
Yeah.
into deeply.
Like the cancer developments that were have happened in Scotland over the last 20 years are unreal. I'm talking about like 30 or something, boom, fucking life-changing discoveries, right?
Yeah.
And there's countries like I say, America, and even here in Britain where we have to import because we don't have the resources to make the actual things. We're getting robbed.
Oh, we're getting mugged.
There needs
That's
to be
right.
there needs to be a consensus to even. It doesn't matter if you're in fucking Western world, the Eastern world, Asia. It doesn't matter. There has to be a consensus to everybody saying, well, we're a part of the fucking world organization. All the leaders go to these fucking meetings every year, and they are not interested in anything but lining their own pockets. That is a fact.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Too much of a business.
And doctors are just pill pushers.
Most of them, aye.
They're
But I'll
good.
I'll give you an
They'll
example.
stitch
as
you
well.
up good.
I'll give you an example as well, right? There was a young artist in Britain called Ren. He's no that lot. He's become quite successful over the last year. And a standard thing in America, and Canada, when you're testing for blood, is to test for tick, Lyme disease.
Yeah.
Britain do not test for that. And because of that, he got misdiagnosed and mismedicated for 10 years, and it caused psychosis.
Sorry,
For a simple blood test.
Rick, you'd spend that in 3 or 4 years, 5 years. You spend 250,000. You can't retire on 250,000, mate.
No. You need about $1 million, and you can really, but you really need $1 million to get the percentage to be able to take £40,000 out a year and still always have £1 million in your bank.
Just say you owned your own house. It might stretch it a bit more.
Aye.
But in 20 years, 250,000, no way.
No. But you could if you live pretty baseline. Like
You'd have to own your own house though, because rent would eat most of that up.
if you had £250,000, your partner had £250,000, and you both as a couple can survive on £30,000 a year, that would last you your whole retirement and still be able to fucking pass money on to your siblings, your children.
There was once a projected figure for a couple retiring of around 180 to 200,000. Just don't get sick. Try that one.
And if you rent your house, your rent is going to be 15,000 a year?
Well, it depends. Depends where you live.
48,000 a month.
Like
Right.
in Scotland, you can get a pretty good house for £600-700 a month. So that's what 8,400 at the top end.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you were a couple and you had a certain family, but again, we look at life totally different for a lot of the rest of the world. Like Asians, whether it be from India to Pakistan to China, they didn't say, "Oh, 18-year-old, you're at the door." Boom. No, they pull all their money and resources, and the family unit prospers. The family unit, not an individual, the family unit prospers. So there's cultural things that are our downfall in the Western world as well.
For sure. Yeah, I agree with that.
You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to say one thing, but if you didn't look at if you nitpick a fact, it's easy to pick a fault. But if you look at a wider scale of facts, it's easier to see where the downfalls and the prosperous are. It's like you see it a lot of times when people have an argument, they'll nitpick certain things, but you need to look at the bigger picture. Like someone says earlier in the chat about Winston Churchill. Well, Winston Churchill signed 1 million Indians during World War One World War Two to fucking die of starvation and malnourishment. And the food stocks were there. He just didn't want to give it to them because they were Indians. Do you know what? I'll give you an example as well. Like,
He was a bit of a cunt.
but the thing is, that is a British mentality. That is the British mentality. Do you know what India's global GDP was before Britain invaded them and made them part of the empire? It was 22% of the global profit was India.
Oh yeah, India was a very rich cultural.
After Britain left, it was 0 point. After Britain gave them their sovereignty back in 1947, after World War II, and they all helped fight. There was millions of Indians fought in World War II, right? 0.07% was their global GDP.
Yeah, I mean, well, it had been stripped, so they stripped it and they fucked it, and then they left, and that's why India is like it is now. That's why we're getting these telephone calls claiming to be from banks.
India's on the rise, and Britain are still getting the money. They're an independent country now, and Britain are still subsidising the money, and India is on the rise. Do you know what India's found the biggest fucking deposit raw minerals to make lithium batteries? And I think 900,000 tons.
Oh, they're going to be rich as fuck then.
Aye. They're launching rockets into space, but we're still getting them millions. For what? Who knows?
But Britain did that to Hong Kong in '49. This is my opinion. If it wasn't for the financial interest to Hong Kong, China would have grabbed that in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to make one comment on the British Empire. I'm so glad it's dead and gone. Because why? Because
but is it gone?
Sorry?
Is it gone?
I'm talking
because
about
the Commonwealth still exists.
Well, the Commonwealth may exist.
The four nations in Britain can't be independent. So is the empire gone, or is it just rebranded?
Well, let me finish. Right, you're talking about the British Empire. The British Empire went into places of whatever the resources were that they wanted, whether that be gold, whether that be financial gain of monies or jewels or whatever. Right, they stripped them of that. And once they stripped them there, they gave them back. Right, under so-called treaty agreements, etc. Right, so we got the Commonwealth, but the Commonwealth, it's really a name. It's something which they can attach the royal family to. Right, it's supposedly to be to bring money in, investment into the country. Yeah, it costs us more than they actually bring in as taxpayers. It doesn't matter where you're paying tax, you're still paying tax into that bunch of sponges.
I'll ask you a question. Why does the British Commonwealth have 7 of the world's tax havens?
It's so people can actually go there and hide their money.
There's a reason that there's certain countries still in the Commonwealth.
Oh yeah. I mean, when you look at Jersey, you look at
Cooks and Caicos.
the Isle of Man and places like this. These are all where the big international banks hold their money.
Do you know that the
them.
Isle of Man was never an English island anyway? It was a Scottish island.
Yeah, but it was still independent, shall we say?
That
Right.
with, I think it's, what's it called? They've got it's almost like a coat.
I mean, it's actually got its own government. Jersey's got its own government.
But if you look at the way the Isle of Man runs,
However, I agree that devolution should happen. I agree that Scotland should have its own laws and it should have its own parliament, right? How you choose to run is fine. But there again, you've got to then produce enough financial support.
Well, do you know that Scotland actually did have enough financial support, and then they changed the rates on what renewable energy could be sold at, and then they also changed we're shutting down all the oil fields and gas fields.
Yeah, but who did that?
So then we couldn't financially support ourselves.
No, I'm saying who did that?
Westminster.
Isn't a good chunk of the UK's fresh water come from Scotland, doesn't it?
Scotland and Wales both pump water into England.
Yeah, shit falls downhill.
And yet we do not get paid for it.
Yeah, so no. if there was, what was that word you were using there, Graham?
I said shit falls downhill.
No, before that,
devolution. The idea was that you hold a referendum in certain areas, and if the majority of people voted for to be self-ruled, it's a good way of putting it, then they'd get it, right? The trouble is that and this is where I do agree with the Scottish. Every single time, I think they've had two votes on it, and they're now looking to try and get a third. Except now, I think Sturgeon's had to stand down. But
it's been close. It's only been like 4% of the population that made the difference.
Yes.
Well, really, 3% because it was a 4% difference. So if 3% went the other way, we would have been independent.
Yeah. But the idea of
you having
your own government, right, looking at and having proper borders put across, etc., right, I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Right. I'll tell you the reasoning why. The same as I do for the Welsh, right? I think that you should, and I think Northern Ireland should be returned back to Ireland or area.
But
right?
what I do agree with, see what you said, you brought up Isle of Man earlier, and I was talking about like a cloak of security with the forces. I think if we do have that, we should, because we're such a Britain, the UK, we're such a small place that our armed forces should still be one united entity.
Well, no, I disagree.
Because, well, what you got?
And there's a reason why I disagree.
Where you got to house? Where do you got to house your nuclear submarines? Because they're actually based in Scotland at a strategical point.
You rent them. You rent the space. You decide whether you want to or not.
We're already renting that space to America.
Well, there you go. It's through America, right? You should have the right to do that. You with me? You basically have the right to do what you should have the right to do whatever you want to do, right? And I think that you should rebuild Hadrian's Wall in conjunction with.
Hadrian's Wall runs right through the centre end of Newcastle, so a lot of people might be a bit hangry about that.
Build the wall and make the English pay for it.
But you let me finish, right? You let me finish what I'm trying to say.
I couldn't help but make a joke about that.
No, I think it's funny.
We do. I was doing a Trump.
You're not so it diverts and keeps all of Newcastle that time. But anyway.
As long as we didn't get gamers.
Big up the turn.
Right. All right. Let's talk sensibly here for a second, right? And keep it on the straight and narrow, so to speak. If you have control of your own country, you set your own laws for the whole of the country. You can have your common law.
Do you know that there's actually the Green Party made that exactly what you said?
Yeah.
The Green Party made that statement on the run-up to referendum, and they say, it's no you're really voting for the SNP to be your leader. You're voting for the leaders within your country to be your leaders.
Like the other thing is,
Boris Johnson only came up here once, and that was to visit the Queen when she was
Oh
dying.
yeah. Well, you even got Elvis stopping over once. He stayed in the plane, but he did stop. But listen, what I'm saying is that you would then be able to set your own taxation, etc., whatever. You would be your own health service, everything, and you can have passport control. You can decide whether you want to be in the EU, you don't want to be in the EU. We came out of the EU on 4%.
Do you know that none of Scotland did not like? There was the highest percentage, like the 4 nations that voted to stay in the EU because we know the importance of it.
I don't know why you guys left the EU. I really don't.
Brexit was sold on racism and immigration, mate.
Yeah,
and that is
which is happening anyway. But
what the thing is,
it didn't stop it.
The final point I want to make is if Scotland ruled Scotland, Welsh ruled the Welsh. Northern Ireland either ruled itself or they actually went back into Ireland. It became one country, right? Because at the end of the day, it was the British that invaded it and kept it, right? But what I'm saying is England wouldn't be able to sustain itself because there aren't enough people.
Well, there's only like 6.5 million people in Scotland.
Yeah. Hello, Buxter. Oh, he's gone again.
And there's only 5 million, I think, about in Ireland.
Why do you keep knocking Buxter down?
Trying to bring him on.
Well, I'm bringing him on. You're taking him down. Do you know what? Can't get stuff.
They're fighting over you, Oscar.
Good to see you, Muxter. Hope you well, mate.
Me and Finkel did the same thing to a guy the other day, so I saw I knew what was going on. I just want to say I don't have a lot to give to this particular conversation, but I thought the audience would like to have somebody up here that doesn't have a funny accent.
To us, you have a funny accent, mate.
Sounds funny.
To us, you're the funny one.
That's all I'll say to that one. We can spell. Right. No, seriously. All joking apart, right? I personally believe that all areas should be able to rule themselves. I'm all for it, right? Because I might see my tax go down. I might see the ability to choose when I go over to Wales.
On more benefits to your tax.
The benefits I could get. I mean, in North Wales, it's free to have prescriptions, I believe.
It's free up here as well.
And it might, there you go. Is it free to park in hospitals, free of charge? And you're taking that away?
No,
over
we get
here,
free
it's not
parking.
free to park in hospitals. Jesus Christ, it's crazy money.
We have to
Park in
pay.
hospitals. Yeah, but we too over here. It's crazy money.
No, we get free parking.
Nobody parks in hospitals over here.
Yeah.
And
the best.
also, our nurses and doctors in my local hospital have their own separate parking area as well. It's slightly away from the hospital, but the hospital has like its main building and it has separate offshoot buildings like for the clinic, and it has another building for the mental health, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, but it's done correctly. As I say, this is personally, this is the way that I see it. I think there should be devolution. I'm really.
But you're
cheesed off. It's never happened in this
Chris,
day and
you're
age.
contradicting yourself because you said you do want de-evolution, but then you say England won't be able to survive on its own.
But that's the great thing about change. That's the great thing about change. Like if,
but Craig,
like Grim says, England wouldn't be able to survive on its own. Well, if you really look at how much tax money gets put to other countries outside of Britain, you might say, well, okay, Matt, you've got to bring that money back a bit, and then it'll subsidise what you're losing out on.
I agree, but then a government would have to work for the people.
Mm-hmm. They would, and that's what they're meant to do. That's what they're meant to do.
Guys, the simple solution is we need a one world government. Just an idea. One world government.
No,
that controls everything.
Isn't that just exactly the fucking direction we're going in, you nutcase?
See, the thing is, right? Wait, stop.
Come on, man.
Says, right, a one world government, right? Look at Richie Sunak and Scotland's First Minister. Their priorities aren't in this country; they're in other countries.
Yes,
right.
Foreign interests.
If you have a one world government and the Chinese fucking communist dictator fucking Xi Jinping as a leader, what do you think's going to happen then?
No.
One world solution does not work because there's so many. Not even like money. cultural differences.
Oh
So
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
You
No.
know
know
what I mean?
what?
Like cultural differences have to be protected because that's an identity of a fucking land. Like Scottish people have been here for fucking 5,000 years.
Well, I tell you what, it would stop the illegal immigration into England because I mean, people
Well,
aren't going to go there because of the weather. Face it. I mean, if there
you
was,
could
if
stop
there was
you could stop illegal immigration by putting fucking drones in there. You know what I mean? You can fucking stop illegal immigration by a lot of different things.
No,
Like,
I mean,
I'll give you an example, right? You talk about illegal immigration. One of the parts of Brexit was you have to ensure your borders, right? How many people have come across in the last 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? But yet, 2 weeks past Monday, they brought in the solution to shoring up our borders is, well, it's going to cost the taxpayers an extra £200 million to import food. Food. And livestock. Well, if people are a commodity, fucking immigrants are livestock.
yeah.
Well, that's
So
not-
the shoring up the borders is a fucking myth. It's a myth.
Adike, I was only joking, mate.
You know,
The face, a palm face.
you know, it's interesting to me as a bit of an outsider.
Can we have
Is-
subtitles up, please, while you're talking?
I was always
Sorry.
I was always fascinated by the fact that one shitty little island at one time owned most of the world. You know, first you took over the rest of the isles, and then you're in North America and Africa and India and
Australia.
all that. But that was just a prison colony.
Yeah.
But then all that went away. You know, you still have that UK thing with some of them that nobody understands. But anyway, but now it's like you're still breaking down farther. You know,
The UK is easy to understand.
Scotland wants to go away. You know, and I mean, I always knew Scotland. There's a big independence thing there, but just recently I've heard people talk about like Wales being independent and stuff. You know, of course you
Well,
lost
it's-
Ireland a long time ago.
There's
What's
even
that?
Scottish islands. There's even Scottish islands that try to break away from Scotland because of the way that Britain's running the place.
Really?
Because the population, the Orkney Islands, if you've ever heard of them.
I've heard of them. Yeah.
Well, the Orkney Island, the people identify as being Norwegian, right?
Do they?
Yeah.
Mm.
Aye, King Harold fucking Finehair, that's where he based.
It's
That
like I
was his
said
base,
earlier.
right?
The English.
They want to go back to Norway. They didn't want to be
Yeah.
a part of Scotland because of the way Britain's treating them.
Well,
Were they settled by Vikings?
I was Scottish settlers, and then the Scottish moved when the Vikings came in because of the propaganda raids. But some of them stayed, but still identify today as Norwegians, and they still have up the hellier like Viking celebration, Norwegian celebrations.
What language do they speak?
Scottish and Norwegian.
Do they?
No, every one of them is bilingual, but yeah.
yeah, I was going to
What would
say.
be the main
ask-
language?
Well, I was going to ask.
Scottish
what
is the
was
main language.
Yeah, I was going to say what was the main language. I mean, let's put it this way, right? England went into other countries, took what they wanted, and then dumped them when they got what they wanted. Simple as that. And I think that we should, other countries should do the same. They should stand up for
But
themselves.
keep
and-
in mind, Grim, keep in mind that it was the way of the world, right? So if England didn't do it, it would have been either France or Spain.
Oh, it's never going to be France.
Well,
Well,
France and Spain did that.
They all
did,
do.
but England were extra good at it.
People,
Dutch did it.
people
The
talk
Dutch
about
took
the
over.
English having America.
Portuguese.
Yeah.
People talk about
Portuguese,
English have
the
America. America was split right down the middle, and on the fucking the western side of America was owned by Spain.
Yeah.
It was the way of the world. Everybody did that. And if you didn't do it, you would get taken over by the one
Exactly.
who did do it.
Well, then America got independent and said, "Okay, now let's go steal other people's countries."
Yeah.
Hawaii,
Well, technically, America didn't get independent.
Mexico, most of Mexico, which they call Texas.
Technically, America isn't really independent because they still pay 10% of their taxable income to Britain.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yes.
They lease the land.
But that's not independence.
Then they pay it to the Queen, to the King.
Yep.
Now, it's not paid to the government; it's paid to the King. But I'm all for this. As I say, I remember it's devolution. I don't know what they call it these days, but I'm all for it. I think that it's a fantastic way of moving forward. It's the only way, and it will stop the one area governing the whole world. In my opinion, because it means that they've got to fight independence. All right, it might cause a few skirmishes along the way.
The first few years would be hard.
But I honestly believe it'll work.
Mm-hmm.
That's my personal opinion, folks.
And what you said earlier, Grim, about showing up the borders as bang on, and the best example for that, right, is right now in America. When Trump decided to build that wall, right, everybody was like, it's racist, it's racist, it's racist. Do you know whose biggest supporters when that wall was getting built were for Trump? Legal immigrants. Right now, the biggest supporters for Biden are illegal immigrants.
Yes, I agree.
So
I agree.
If you didn't look at, it could be yesterday's history or 10 years ago or 100 years ago. If you didn't look at history, you'll not really see how things work when things change.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with immigration. I have a problem with illegal immigration in any country.
Same here.
And the fact is, our government, media, and everything know that these people are dumping their fucking identification off after travelling through 3 or 4 different countries throughout Europe and dumping it in the English Channel is an indication of how fucked up it is. And then you look at what happened in Ireland outside that school, and the kids got killed. You know what I mean? Like, these are unvetted people.
Yeah.
Look what's happened in America. Look what's happened in America. Fucking, they beat up fucking the police, and then they got let on bail for free. And the guys
you haven't seen the whole video. We watched more of that yesterday, and you didn't see what happened before they attacked the police, supposedly.
No, but one of the guys who got let out on bail was then went and killed somebody since.
Yeah, but Outlaw, do you not think Trump is simply playing Santa Claus for the people?
The funny thing is, he promises but doesn't give.
Well, does he or does he not? Because if you believe the media, he's the arsehole that never done nothing. But if you look at the facts, your GDP was up, your illegal immigration was up, fucking brokered peace.
It's higher now. It's higher now.
Hang on.
It's only higher now because of inflation.
No.
The stock market is up. Unemployment is down.
Nah, no believing that.
I'm sorry, I'm going by statistics instead of whatever news you're watching.
I didn't watch the news, mate. I didn't watch.
Hang on, gentlemen, please. Right. What I was about to say is that when it comes to a decision as to who is the president of America, we know that it's a foregone conclusion. It's already been made the same way as it was made that Biden was going to get it by hook or by crook. Some people say more by crook. But at the end of the day, right, what have they done with Trump since then? They've thrown everything they can do at the guy, and he's still come out with nothing sticking to him. That guy is Teflon.
And there's a reason they're trying to do that.
You know, if you discredit someone, you hope that they won't get back in. Unfortunately, I can't see an alternative. I wish I could.
I think if Trump gets in and he takes Vivek as his VP, I think there could be a big change. And a lot of people in Britain will say, why does it matter? It's America. Well, America's your fucking one of your biggest allies and a fucking superpower. It matters to the Western world what happens there.
You're buying the Trump line.
I can't even see your name because I'm on my phone.
I'm going Outlaw. What was that, Muster?
You're buying the Trump line about all this throwing stuff at him.
Yeah.
He's
No,
not,
Is it
he's
a
not
thing, though?
innocent of all that crap. It's not politically motivated. The reason it's all happening now is because they couldn't do it to him while he was in office.
But
But
other
nothing
presidents
has
have done a
actually
lot worse than
And
Trump
he,
ever
yeah,
did.
actually, he just had a big civil suit against him on stuff. He lost a thing a while ago about his fake college. He just lost another one, and the serious ones are coming up. Things are sticking to him. It's just that he keeps telling people they aren't, and his followers believe anything he says.
Well, let me put it this way, Muxter. Well, I'm from a criminal point of view, right? Not because there's a difference between civil and criminal.
Yeah.
My understanding. From a criminal point of view, everything which has been thrown has not stuck.
But it hasn't been. It's not over yet.
No,
It hasn't been adjudicated.
No, but when
No.
you've been hanging with about fucking 90 odd times and nothing stuck,
But let
it
me
kind of
just
shows that there's a pattern there.
Can I just say that it does matter to other countries what happens in America,
Mhm.
but only the American people can make that decision. But the way that the American voting system is set up, that's where the problem is. It's the
I mean,
voting system.
I'm
That's
so
You
all-
vote
happy.
at a
I think
local
So
level.
happy Hillary Clinton didn't make it to power. That
Graham, I
woman
think that
scares
applies to
me.
a lot of countries. Like
Yeah, but
even,
hang on.
even
In
in
America's
Britain, like
America's different to the way that we vote.
you have
Over in America,
but isn't it? Because people
it is.
people
Let me
stick
finish.
to a party
Out-
rather than the right person for the job.
Outlaw, let me please explain where I'm going with this. So at a local level, you elect people,
Mhm.
right? Then the people who you've elected, they vote. They're supposed to vote the way that the people says. However, what actually happens is they vote the way the party tells them to vote. And
I
then
think-
it goes up to the next level and then the next level. So the actual people who are voting for the presidential, for the president, aren't the rank and file.
I
It
get-
is the
I get
people who
that.
are so far up the electrical system
I
that
get
are
that.
voting for it. And
But
they
what I was
vote.
going to say though, Graham, is even in Britain and America, right? People are so, I am this party, whether it be Republican, Democrat, Tory, Labour, SNP, fucking Lib Dem, right? They're so that thing that really you should be voting for the person who's the best for the job to do best for your country, no matter what party you're in, because you live in
That's
the
it.
country.
Hang on,
That's
right,
it,
okay.
Outlaw. That was my point. That's how to fix a lot of problems. Get
Yeah,
rid of
I'll come
party
to you in a
politics.
second, Muxer, because I know I want to give you the right to reply there. I'll just finish what I was saying. It doesn't matter who you vote for. In my opinion, the government will always win.
Yeah, of course. The government
You know,
never changes.
and that's how I see it. Anyway, Muxer, right to reply.
I know a little bit about the American voting system, and you guys were like talking about two different things. Like, I totally agree with Outlaw and the whole shoulda stuff, but let me explain more what Grim was trying to say about our voting system, and it only has to do with the president. It is not a one man, one vote system. Do you know Trump, if it was a majority vote, he would not have been president last time. He did not get the most votes.
Well,
but-
that's happened here as well.
Hang on, Outlaw, let me finish.
What happened was when those guys back there in 1789, 1776 is when we decided to kick your ass. 1789 was when we wrote our Constitution, and
Based on English law.
they
Okay,
Said-
all right. Whoever's
Yeah,
making that noise in the background, please stop it,
except at various points we said, yeah, we're not doing the English thing on this. But anyway, they made it all, everybody, we're going to let every man vote and all that stuff. But when it came to president, they said, yeah, but we don't quite trust the peasants. So they put this electoral college system in so that the elite, the property owners at the time, were basically our nobility, that they would have the final say. Actually, and I forget exactly, but
Hang on.
I saw where it was like every Republican, like since I don't remember if it goes back as far as Reagan. I think the Bushes none of them won the popular vote. It's all been done by this screwy system of this state having this many votes and that. It's not the majority rule thing for that.
No, I agree. Sorry, Outlaw. I had to mute you because I couldn't hear what was being said.
My
because of the
dog was
background noise.
my dog's just woke up and had a
Yeah, no, it's
started
fine. It's
playing with his
fine.
dog.
That's the only reason why I muted you.
But what I was going to say was that's kind of happened in Britain as well. I can't remember what year it was, but Labour won the vote, and what happened? Conservatives and Lib Dem says, "Well, come on, we just got to combine their votes and take the power."
That was the coalition government between. It was actually the Libs,
But
Libs and Labour.
Is if you've got to fucking sign up as a coalition, you should have done that pre-vote. You can't then just say, "Well, came the people voted, and we're just got to twist it and then have it our own way anyway," because that's no democracy.
No, because we elect what's known as a parliamentary government. Parliamentary.
Yeah, and then they do the prime minister. Yeah,
but it's the leader of the ruling party of the parliamentary party that can put together a government. Then they go to the king, stroke queen, or third in this case, and they say, "We can put a government together. Can we have your permission to be your government?"
Even at that, in fucking Westminster, and also it's probably the same in fucking Scotland as well. It doesn't matter who your leader is. If the Lords say, no, we'll come back, you're not doing what we want, you're out of job.
Yeah, they don't have that over in Westminster. That's where the problem is.
That's why I was saying no party politics. Get rid of party politics. Just employ individuals for ministry.
If you're we have an illusion of democracy in the Western world. We don't have democracy. Because if we were to have democracy, it would be one person, one vote, and you would not have party politics. You'd be voting for the right person for the job that you believe is the right person for the job. And if you don't like it,
that's what
you would vote for another.
If they can't do it, we'll get somebody else to do that job.
Muxter,
me and Grim are coming to America to reclaim it for our King Charles.
Okay. Please. Please take Texas.
as long
my record is being sewn up as we speak.
Let me say a couple of things about like party politics and that. An interesting historical note. You guys agree with Thomas Jefferson, who thought we should not have parties.
Yeah,
I love Thomas Jefferson. He's that guy.
Hang on. Is there anything else you want to say, Muxer, before we start?
Yeah, just a little, and just interesting little historical thing that 99% of Americans don't know. But in the first couple of elections, nobody ran for vice president. It used to be you take the top two guys, whoever got the most electoral votes was president, and the next guy was vice president. So you'd have two people that could two guys that ran against each other and would disagree on everything. And now they're part of so that was kind of interesting.
Work? Wow, what a nice dog there. Would that work though? I don't think that would work, would it?
Well, let me go into a little more of our system though too, because the president and vice president you see now isn't the way it was all the way up through World War II. The vice president, the only job he has in the Constitution is president of the Senate. Okay, so basically he'd be like the leader of the House of Lords. And then he was there to fill in if the president died or something. When FDR died during World War II and Harry Truman came in, he knew nothing about what was going on. He didn't know about the atom bomb project or nothing. Afterwards, they started including the vice president more. And now you don't see the vice president go over to the Senate pretty much at all unless for like ceremonial type stuff. Now he's become like, the president's assistant.
I think
You know,
every
what-
country should have like a backup leader, like how you have the vice presidency, but it should almost be like an apprentice president. So you should be in the loop on if anything happens, like you say, rather than
that's
get to the point where you have no idea what the fuck's going on.
That's
You have
the way
inclines to what's going on.
that's the
Well,
way it is now. The vice president gets, the security
Yeah.
briefings and all that stuff.
I believe
You
every
guys have
country
a
should have
vice-
that.
Prime
Hang
Minister.
on, but
Is there a
Uh,
vice prime minister in England?
no,
Nope.
Who's in
not as
second
such.
place? What happens if the
It's who the Lord's
if he
pick.
dies?
It's who the
If he
Lord's
dies?
pick. Like
Then-
what happened to Theresa May? They kicked Theresa May out and just assigned Boris.
No, what they do is they have a new vote for the leader of the parliamentary
Okay.
parliament where there is
That's easy to
split-
do.
Yeah,
So there's a
split.
gap.
Uh,
So
yeah,
there's
but
a
hang
gap.
on.
Though.
Yeah, hang on. The way that it works is that the rank and file of the membership theoretically vote for whoever they want, and there could be 10 candidates to start off with, but there's different rounds of voting and people get knocked out, etc.
But
But
look how
eventually
that works.
it'll boil down to 2. But what I was just going to say about what Muxer was explaining is that it's the president and the vice president are the running mates, and the vice president is now the running mate from the same party,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they take over if the president is incapacitated. That's the way it's put.
Yeah.
So if they're suffering from COVID and they're in a coma or whatever, then it's the vice president that takes over, but they don't take over fully until
Well,
such
even-
time
Amendment.
as
Well-
the president
Well, he
dies.
he does have all the powers temporarily, but we've even gone so far since World War II because when FDR died and Harry Truman took over, they got scared and said, "What do we do if something happens to Truman?" So we now have a system that we got like the next 10 guys lined up.
Yeah.
With the if
Quite-
the vice president was dead, then the Speaker of the House, then the leader of the Senate, then it goes through the whole presidential cabinet.
And quite rightly so.
Well, those 10
Um,
people shouldn't be allowed on a plane together.
Like I was saying, like
They always
when,
leave-
when they got rid of Theresa May, they assigned Boris Johnson, right? Boris Johnson couldn't do his job as an editor. He couldn't do his job as the mayor of London, and you're giving him 4 fucking nations to look after.
And
Well,
then
he was
the
a good
funny
laugh.
thing is, he was the only prime minister to be elected, right? Because he held an election, a general election, and the fools voted him back in.
Aye.
But since then, we've not had a general election since 2020.
And
But
we've
you
had
won this
another
year.
we've had another 2 prime ministers since.
Yes.
Guys,
Yeah,
guys,
that's
let
fucking-
Buckster get in there for a minute.
Well,
He's dying
just- No, well, I just wondered on the comment about they should never all be allowed on a plane together.
yeah.
When we have the State of the Union address that the president gives every year, and that's when basically everybody is all in one place, except they always pick one cabinet member to be
Uh,
away
the
just in
designated
case.
survivor.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and so it might be, if somebody flew a plane into the Capitol at the time, which who could imagine that happening?
Mm.
All of a sudden the Secretary of Agriculture or somebody is now our president.
We need
Yeah.
more carrots.
Aye, that should designate
Anyway.
survivor clause.
We run on
Guys.
tomatoes.
Guys, thank you. I'm going to end this. I don't normally go on for so long, but this has been a very good panel. We've had some fantastic discussion. I've been awake since God knows what time this morning, so I'm going to call it.
Oh God, it's midnight over there. Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
I want to open this up to sort of like final thoughts before I do close it down, because I do want you to have a chance to say whatever it is you want to say uninterrupted within terms of service, please, gentlemen.
I have an easy one, since I wasn't here for a lot of it. I'm glad I got back in time for the end of it, and it's my first time. Well, today's my first time here, and I just wanted to say thanks for letting me in, and good talking to you guys that I haven't seen elsewhere.
It's a pleasure having you, Muxter.
Yeah, nice meeting
Thank you,
man.
Luxter. Thanks for coming in, mate. I really do appreciate it. And you're welcome anytime. Bring some sanity to what is sometimes insanity on here.
Well, I will let you know that I won't have to give details, but I just left insanity.
Okay.
Jim, I have a little story for America if they want to hear it.
Go on then. Find the words. Go on, Blackwatch.
Well, the story goes that it could be argued. But Mayflower comes over, right? And Charles, you're going to pay taxes and that. They get all bitchy about it and says, no way. Then the War of 1812 comes along. Britain says, we're going to govern the Atlantic Ocean. No way. Well, back in 1867, Sir John A. Macdonald, which was not Sir at the time, went over to England, approached the House of Lords with Confederation. You know what the House of Lords thought more important than that? That they mandate that everybody in England has a dog license. So bitch,
That's right.
America.
It's crazy.
That's probably very true, actually.
It's like Mayor was saying that they're more interested in getting money than anything.
Yeah.
Mugging us. We're a cash machine to these people.
Yeah. Pluto. I'm dreading this.
I don't actually have that word. Can you believe it? Just thanks for having me up. It was a great panel. Lovely to meet Blackwatch and Mugstar. I know you from
the place I just escaped from. Yes,
the People's TV. So it was lovely meeting you two guys. It was a pleasure being on a panel, which is all. It was great talking to you, and of course, Law, such a great guy. And
thanks for coming back in. We're not frightening you away. I thought we'd frighten you away. Outlaw.
Thanks for having me up. Good conversation rather than it being a debate and everybody fighting with each other, which usually goes on with these panels. Cheers.
Thanks very much. As you will probably realise, the one thing I ask is that people leave their personal crap at the door. I don't do drama, never have done drama. I might take part in it occasionally, and I might put certain things out regarding what I see as drama and the fact that we are a network. We're a network of people. The only way we are going to work together is by talking and discussing, not shouting.
Yeah.
That includes the chat as well. I want to say thanks to everybody who's taken part in the chat, because we've had fun in the chat, and apologies for missing everything. I'm not able to as yet be able to concentrate on what's going on with the in the chat and up on the stage, so to speak.
Meow, meow, meow.
What? Shut up a minute. Thank you. One of the things I do want to do is to start these discussions off in here and then move over to the website so that we don't have to worry about terms of service. And I'm not talking about a free for all having a go at each other. I'm talking about being able to get into a conversation and not, because I have to every now and again say, don't forget terms of service. And I hate saying it, but I've got to live by it because this is not my service.
Grim, can you start them in Jitsi and then actually stream it to YouTube? And then you can just kind of seamlessly carry it on, and the chat can jump over.
What you have to do is it's the other way around. You start it here and then move over to an area. It won't be Jitsi. It will still be StreamYards. People will still be able to come up. It's just that the chat facility will be over on the website.
Right. It's just that was the way I've seen Beard do it before.
Yeah. That's not the way that's not how it doesn't quite work the way that way, unfortunately. It's a nightmare to actually organise. But the way that we have got it, we've got our own streaming service provider, and we're able to do that. And not only would it go onto the Grim Reaper Network.org, but it'll go onto other people's websites as well. And the idea is that people will be able to view it, they'll be able to listen to it, but if you want to comment, they'll have to come over to the original where it is. Otherwise, it could work. We've not yet got as far as that to find out. I want to. I want to bring in people like Four Corner, Fist in the Air, for public safety and a few other guys, I want to be able to have an open and frank discussion about what's happening to them. Same with people in the UK who go out doing audits or support the auditing community. And I also want to open up same sort of thing, an open and frank discussion around 420 movement and that community. There's all sorts of things that we can do, but it's about networking, and we don't have to agree with everything that is said, but what we can do is agree to disagree and not make it personal.
I don't agree to disagree.
We've done that.
I would agree to disagree.
I totally agree with
I
that.
don't give two shits about you.
You need different opinions to kind of change minds and open up other avenues of thoughts. And
but it is about discussion.
Even just if you've missed one fact, the whole subject, and that can bring everything full circle, if you know what I mean.
I'll tell you something. Even I, every once in a while, have learned something from other people.
No.
Really?
No way.
Oh, no, I'm not having that.
We don't believe that.
With you on that. I'm sorry.
Hold it on.
Okay, I was just being polite.
That's more like it. You're an American. No, seriously. Sorry,
Do you know what
I
I've
do this all
learned
the
today?
time to people. He's Scottish. I've got a Scottish, I've got Irish, I've got Canadian. What happened to Bear? Oh, hang on a second. Only intelligent people stayed, so thank you very much.
He dropped out a while ago. Yeah,
I hadn't noticed.
We scared him off. We scared him off.
So, Glenn, do I understand the mechanics straight? If you start on YouTube and we go on StreamYard panel, that's going to be transferred to your network without starting
to the
on?
website.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, it'll be streaming to 2 locations at the same time. I'll just close it down on YouTube after, say, half an hour, maybe more, maybe an hour, and then we can continue over there uninterrupted. And if, you know, where I've got to put security up, I don't need to worry about it there.
So
this is the same place that Mello's involved in.
Yeah,
Mellows and I work very closely together. Yes,
I thought so. Okay.
So you're streaming. You're from YouTube StreamYard. You're streaming to your network simultaneously. Is that
yes,
right?
yes, I can do. I haven't done today. I wish I had, because this turned out to be one hell of a discussion and alive. It's one of the best ones that we've had for a long, long time. And please, gentlemen, come back, because you've got to.
Topics and conversations like this, I'm totally game for, Grim. Like, if it's mediocre stuff, no, that interested, but stuff like this, I am.
Serious stuff, we can get into the serious stuff, we can get into the garbage stuff, you know, as in the joking around and whatnot. I mean, I do that because that's just me. But
that in the chat.
I'll always bring it back. You see, I'll just make a comment, which Muxes knows what I'm like at times. I try to be a peacekeeper, but at the same time, I try to do it in a way which still captivates the attention on the original issue. Mm-hmm. And I will ask yes or no questions, closed questions as well as open questions.
Let me just say this at the risk of keeping you up past midnight. This is exactly what I look for in a panel.
Good. Cool. I say, listen, if we're going to carry on, that's fine, but I'm just warning you, I am going to call it in about 10 minutes tops. I'll probably have about 3 hours sleep, and I'll probably end up on an American channel, which is usually the way it goes. Seriously, guys, thank you for coming up. Thanks to everybody who's in the chat. You've all been fantastic. From a point of view, we've had discussion, not arguments. There's a difference, and I'll leave you on that thought. In the meantime, respect to you all, and next time we do something like this, when I end it on YouTube, it will continue over on the website, but more details on that on the night. All right, cheers, guys. Take care.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for having me. Bye bye.
We'll see you guys in